That was a really, really cool moment to see his teammates clapping for him. This big crowd all standing at one time. And what an honor for Mariano Rivera. I don't know if he's going to be on the mound at the beginning of games. I don't know if he has one more start in him, Paul, but that's where he started. That's when you first saw him starting.
It was, I mean, you see Georgie went up to the 50-foot line. Didn't want to make him throw too far. But again, does that happen? I mean, do active players throw out the first pitch?
It's very rare, and this was the 500th save against the Mets, and you can see the pure joy. And Jeter gave him a long hug and told him in his ear, "You're the greatest." And there's genuine affection for this guy because, as Paul said, Kenny, he's not just a great player. He's a great person and a great teammate. Nobody begrudges him anything.
Yeah, exactly. And he's done it with class over all of these years. And, you know, he might actually be the first person ever to throw out the first pitch in the game and actually throw the last pitch in the game, too, when you think about it.
We could have a question tomorrow, right?
That might be one you'll get.
Maybe. 24 hours. A lot of things can happen, man. I get a lot.
Well, Joba Chamberlain is going to throw the official first pitch, and let's take a look at the Mariner lineup that he is going to face here at Yankee Stadium. Put together by Mariner manager Don Wakamatsu. Ichiro Suzuki in right field leads off. Russell Branyan at first will bat second. Batting third and playing second base, Jose Lopez. Ken Griffey Jr. is back in the Mariner uniform. He'll be in left field. He's cleaning up before he cleans up. Lifetime against the Yankees. The DH is Mike Sweeney. Franklin Gutierrez, the center fielder, will bat sixth. Batting seventh and playing third base, Chris Woodward. Kenji Jojima will catch. He's going to bat eighth and batting ninth. And playing shortstop is Ronnie Cedeno.
Well, 23-year-old Joba Chamberlain on the mound for the Yankees, coming off a strong start again interleague play against the Atlanta Braves at Turner Field. But he's looking for his first win here at Yankee Stadium. The numbers are pretty good on Joba. 4-2, 3.81. You can see the strikeouts and the innings pitched. Let's check out our Jeep pitcher scouting report. This is his first start ever against the Mariners. But you go back to September 5th, 2007, he got his first win against the Mariners in relief. And all of his wins this year are on the road.
Well, Chamberlain's ready, and the great Ichiro is ready. Let's do it here in the Bronx. As the right-hander deals, and that one is ripped foul. So Ichiro looking fastball, jumped on it right away. That was a little bit too quick. Look at the numbers on Ichiro, 372. He is 23 for his last 50.
That's not even an inside pitch. I mean, he got out, came out of the dugout knowing he was going to go after that first-time fastball.
Joba goes up and in with that, 1-1.
Yeah, Ichiro steps in currently with an 11-game hitting streak. He's always seems to be on some sort of hitting streak.
58-minute rain delay at the start.
Oh, it's funny. You look at Ichiro and what he does for a team. He can help every single team in baseball. And what I mean, you can bring a power hitter in to help a team, but you know he can hurt you defensively or he can hurt you in other ways. This guy does everything good, and there's not a way that he can't help a team. Not hitting, defense, speed, everything.
No.
Count 2-2 on Ichiro.
Rifle arm in the outfield, steal bases, load up on power every once in a while.
The 2-2. Upstairs, 3-2.
You ever seen him take batting practice?
Yeah.
I mean, he launches them. He's got power, but I mean, it's always important at the major league level. If you're good at something, be great at it. And what he is he's good at using his speed and slapping the ball. You don't see this very often either. He usually makes
ball four.
He thought it was ball four, and he wants the home plate umpire, Ron Culpa, to check with the third base umpire, which Culpa is not going to do because he called it himself. Let's take a look.
I don't think he called a swing. I think he said that was ball, that strike three.
No, he pointed at him, which usually means that you swung at it.
Well, he was wrong. He didn't swing at it.
That's a bad call.
That's an awful call. He didn't come close to swinging at it.
That was a pitcher strike. I was watching Ichiro.
You're right, though, Kenny. When they point, it's as if you swung.
Yeah.
But if Ichiro wanted him to check with the third base ump, maybe it was called. There's Russell Branyan, and there's striking. That's always been a pet peeve of yours, Paul. There's no way the home plate umpire could really call a check.
Well, I don't think he should be looking at the bat. He should be looking where the ball enters the catcher, you know, where it crosses the plate. So in my mind, that's not his job, and that's you as a hitter. I mean, you could complain, obviously, if they checked and the guy called you out from third base, but at least get somebody else involved. And right there, if you look at the replay, and if he looked at the replay right from our angle, you would call ball 4.
Yeah, the pitch was outside.
So the count 0-2 on Branyan, who's having a renaissance season for Seattle, and that one's outside. Well, let's meet the umpire since we're talking about him. Ron Culpa is behind the plate. Dale Scott is at first. Jerry Meals at second, and Mike DeMuro is over at third. The 1-2 outside, 2-2.
Over the years, Branyan has gotten the nickname Russell the Muscle because of the tremendous power that he's had, but he's bounced around. Been with several teams. He started out with Cleveland, went to Cincinnati, Milwaukee, Tampa Bay, San Diego, Philadelphia, St. Louis, and back to Milwaukee, and now here with Seattle. And during a lot of that time, he spent time in the minor leagues.
The 2-2. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not, said Mike DeMuro.
Say at least he checked that time, right?
That's what Ichiro's thinking.
In the old days when you say, for instance, I was with the Reds and your travel bags were red suitcases. They were bright red with a big C on it. Can you imagine this guy's whole closet would be lined up with team suitcases.
The 3-2.
Look out.
And that one's inside. I'll walk to Branyan.
Well, one thing about the success of Joba, he didn't walk anybody in his last start. Also, he kept his pitch count down. He's going to full counts in the first 2 hitters.
Let's take a look at the Yankee defense. In the outfield, you've got Damon, Cabrera, and Swisher. In the infield, A-Rod, Jeter, Cano, and Teixeira. Posada's behind the plate. Chamberlain on the mound. Rodriguez played a very good third base this year. Here's Jose Lopez. And there's a strike.
Now Lopez has moved into the third spot with the absence of Adrian Beltre, who is having shoulder surgery today to take some bone spurs out. Second time he's had surgery to take out bone spurs, but Lopez now moves into the third spot. They're really going to miss Adrian Beltre.
Well, he's one of the mainstay. I mean, he's their power. Yeah, other than Branyan, he's a guy that hits home runs and does things for them.
Branyan's laughing about something as he leads off first, held there by Teixeira. And the pitch. Driven deep down the left field line, but it hooks foul.
And Lopez is in double figures in home runs. He's got 10. They play in that spacious ballpark in Seattle, Safeco Field, but every once in a while he'll load up on you.
Another big crowd here at the stadium as the fans waited out a 58-minute rain delay. Runner at first with 1 out. 0-2 count on Lopez. Lopez has 8 hits in his last 12 at bats. Now it's 8 for 13 as he swings and misses. 2 away.
This has been a no contact inning so far. 2 strikeouts and a walk.
You see this pitch out of the zone, high fastball. And I think this is important for, Joba when he gets ahead in the count, especially early in the game, to go ahead and go for those strikeouts early. Don't, pitch around 2-2, 3-2, and before you know it's the 3rd, 4th inning, you got 70 or 80 pitches. I think that as a starter, you have to have a little bit of a different mentality as far as trying to save bullets, trying to save pitches, so you're around in the 7th and 8th inning.
Here's Ken Griffey Jr., a .218 average in his second go-around with the Mariners, 620 career home runs. Griffey started his career with Seattle, moved to the Reds. It didn't happen for him with the Reds.
Injuries happened with him with the Reds. Plenty of injuries in Cincinnati.
Boy, did he used to just continually hurt the Yankees. And you heard a lot of people look at his resume. The MVP in '97 with 56 homers, 13-time All-Star. Great in the field, and we mentioned the 620 career home runs. The 1-0. High fly ball, center field. Melky Cabrera comes in and puts it away for the final out of the first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left. It's Seattle nothing, and the New York Yankees coming to bat. Right field, batting 8th, and the number 9 hitter is the center fielder Melky Cabrera.
You're looking at Brandon Morrow, who is 1-0 in his career against the New York Yankees. And that's what he's done during the course of this season. He's been in 19 ball games. He's worked primarily out of the bullpen. 0-3 with a high earned run average, more than a hit per inning, 20 walks, 34 strikeouts. He's got a power arm. Let's check out the Jeep pitcher scouting report. He's on the Joba plan. Remember last year when Joba came out of the bullpen and they built him up to a starting role? This is only the 4th start for Brandon Morrow, and he is, well, the limit is, there's no limit anymore. They feel he can throw as many pitches as necessary. He's a #1 draft pick out of the University of California in 2006, and he throws hard. His fastball is in the mid-90s.
Well, Derek Jeter will lead off. Yankees, season high 11 games over 500, 43 and 32. And he swings at the first pitch and chops it to Ronnie Cedeno. And there's one away. Well, we've already seen Cedeno. Let's see the rest of the Seattle defense. In the outfield, Griffey's in left, Franklin Gutierrez in center, and Ichiro over in right. Griffey's won 10 Gold Gloves. In the infield, you've got Chris Woodward, Ronnie Cedeno, Jose Lopez, and Russell Branyan third to first. Kenji Jojima behind the plate. Morrow is on the mound. Here's Johnny Damon against Morrow, and Damon 7 hits in his last 15 at bats. There's a strike. Another broken bat and a fair ball. Past Branyan and down into the right field line. As Damon will go to second with a double. And I'll tell you, from up here, that looked like a foul ball, and Don Wakamatsu thought it was a foul ball as well. He's going to argue with Dale Scott.
Wow, look at this. That's a broken bat.
I'll tell you what, when Johnny broke the bat, he had a chance to pick it up on the way to second base, pick up the barrel. Here it is, a look at the rocket off the bat of Johnny Damon, past Branyan, all down the first base line. Watch Johnny. There's the bat about a third of the way to second. Johnny could have cleaned up his own mess there on the way to second base. And it's going to stand as a 2-base hit. Wakamatsu didn't think so, and he's just now finishing, arguing with first base umpire Dale Scott as Ichiro gets the ball back in.
That must have gone over the front right corner of the bag, if that. And Dale Scott was right there.
Wakamatsu in his first year managing the Mariners and has done a pretty good job with the team.
Here's Mark Teixeira with Damon at second, one man out. Pitch outside. Wakamatsu actually has one of Paul's former teammates as his bullpen coach. And there's another look at that going over the bag. John Wetland, Yankee closer in the '96 championship season, is the bullpen coach for Seattle. Another shattered bat. This one tomorrow, and the tag is made by Branyan on the sliding Teixeira. Morrow really fired the ball at Branyan, pulled him off the bag.
It always amazes me as a pitcher. I mean, you can have pinpoint control, but if you have the whole first baseman to throw to, you can make a wild pitch again. Off the end of the bat, checks the runner back, and launches one. It should have been in the second row. Good play by Branyan. Looks like he got Teixeira just on the back before he got to the bag.
Barely got him on the right shoulder.
It's a good reaction by Teixeira. I mean, as a base runner, your job is you see that first baseman starting to get out of play. You know, your best option is to slide. They still have to swipe tag.
Alex Rodriguez, 1-0 count.
Mariners actually lead the league in errors, so they've had some problems defensively.
You know, it's funny. I walked in the visitors clubhouse today, and I saw Griffey, and you know, he's from Cincinnati, and I talk to him every so often. And I said, "So Griff, I looked at your team's numbers. You can't catch the ball. You got great pitching. You can't score runs." He says, "You got it," and he walked out of the room. So, especially that's the truth.
They do have great pitching. I mean, since May 20th, they lead the major leagues in earned run average. Their starters and their relievers have gotten it together.
And in the glory years between the Yankees and Seattle, boy, could the Mariners hit. Edgar Martinez and Ken Griffey in his prime, and Alex Rodriguez. That one's popped up.
Don't forget Jay Buhner.
Jay Buhner. They didn't forget him on Seinfeld.
What are you doing?
Lowest ERA in Major League Baseball since May 20th, 2.80. Well, for that ballpark, that's what you expect, because it's a big yard. But they should be able to hit better than they've been hitting. The 2-2, strike three, A-Rod down looking. So Morrow paints the inside corner, and that'll do it for the Yankees in the first. No runs a hit, no errors, one man left. We played one, no score at the stadium. Network Yankees game again. Starting July 8th, Bronx Bomber fans will be able to watch live Yes Network Yankees games on their personal computers and laptops. If you're an Optimum Online and IOTV customer that watches the Yes Network, go to yesnetwork.com to get more information and sign up for your subscription now.
Just awesome.
Here's Mike Sweeney. It is a pretty neat concept.
Oh, isn't it? See yourself out at Jones Beach. Got the game on. Drawing a crowd.
You know where I came to the ballpark a different way today. I thought about you. I went through Fordham Avenue and I went by the school there. Pretty cool.
Where it all started.
Just looked over there, man. I could just imagine you.
You went to kindergarten too?
Young Michael K with the snorkel coat on.
The guys on sweater. He's got it all. Probably a little mini afro.
Saddle shoes.
Mini afro.
Couple book bags.
Saddle shoes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was me.
Pocket protector.
The one.
Fully loaded.
No, we had the Bics, the Papermates, everything was happening.
You know what? This is terrible. The other day I brought a pencil and I got it out. You know what it had on it? Remember the Frito Bandito erasers?
Yes.
And it had one of those. I think it's the last one I used like in elementary school. I just wanted to check.
Last time you had a pencil in your hand. Great. Sweeney grounds out to Jeter. At least we know Paul's doing his homework now.
Yeah, I'm serious. You do remember that, right?
Yeah, the Frito Bandito.
Well, the erasers, they didn't work, but they were kind of cool. They just smear the pencil around.
I'm just assuming that you aren't the best student in the world.
I was good.
Get out.
Absolutely.
With your attention span.
There wasn't much, if you listened in class and went, that was pretty much an A or a B.
Because you could play.
Well, I don't know if that counted, but it.
You know, the teachers always told me he'd be able to go to lunch. That's what.
Lunch and recess were a blast, weren't they?
Pitch to Gutierrez is a strike.
Good breaking ball by Joba.
Gutierrez when he was in Cleveland for a little while.
Good player. I mean, they talked him up for a couple of years, and then all of a sudden, you're out of the organization.
Well, Cleveland was kind of overloaded with outfielders. With Grady Sizemore and Ben Francisco.
Talk about adding a couple players. I mean, if you add some offense here, and that's in the next month or so, that's what a lot of teams are going to decide whether they're going to be in it or whether they're going to look to next year. And I mean, Seattle's in a division where nobody's run away from it. With their pitching, if you add some firepower to the offense, I mean, you could compete out there in the West.
Starting tonight, they're only 3.5 games back of the Angels, who have taken over the division.
Angels play very well in interleague play. That helped them quite a bit.
The whole American League does.
2-2. Did he go? No, he did not, said Dale Scott.
What do you think, Paul?
That was much farther than Ichiro. But I tell you what, we've had 3 check swings in the first. This might be the check swing night or something.
That was a makeup.
Didn't help Ichiro, but it helped the Mariners, right?
And the 3-2. High fly ball, shallow left center. Damon's going to let it drop. That was in the perfect spot between Cabrera, Jeter, and Damon, and it drops for a single.
I don't know if Melky actually saw that ball, because I believe that's the center fielder's ball. That was more towards center than anything. Maybe get a look at the replay and see what Melky's doing out there. Yeah, he can't see it.
Every once in a while, you also you see other guys' angles, and you think they're going to take care of it, and you got to forget, as a center fielder, it's your job to get to anything and get people out of it.
Good play by Damon to get it back in and hold Gutierrez to a single, on which he should have been on second.
Exactly. I mean, he flew out. You could see his reaction at the bat. And you see Damon barehands. It gets a nice little first hop, kind of the old Scott Brocious play, barehanded on a first hop. Back to Gutierrez. I mean, you get frustrated as a hitter, and you don't assume that ball is going to fall, so you don't realize it, and should be standing at second base.
Ground ball in the hole. Jeter backhands, fires to second. Not in time. Everybody's safe. That's a base hit for Chris Woodward.
Well, you got Woodward with an infield single. Yankee fans might remember him from the Toronto Blue Jays. He was kind of a utility player for the Blue Jays. But now with Beltre out of the lineup for a long period of time, maybe up to 2 months, Woodward's going to get the first shot at third base. And when you put something in the hit column every night, no matter what type of hit it is, you usually get a chance to play the next night. So Woodward has a hit for the night. We'll look for him in tomorrow's lineup.
You see that back replay on GD. He kind of had trouble getting the ball out of his glove. I don't think he's going to make that play because Gutierrez had a good jump, but trouble getting a handle on it.
Joba rockets one to A-Rod. He's going to step on the bag one, fire the first. Double play. Knew exactly who was running, knew how much time he had. That's why he went to the bag rather than go around the horn. So a 5-5-3 double play started by Alex Rodriguez, moving quickly to his right, thinking quickly, stepping on the bag and firing in one motion to get the inning-ending.
100% health. His ability to make plays like this, we saw it in Atlanta, we saw some of it in Florida, but that's an example of when Alex Rodriguez is totally on his game. Really was off balance on the play, recovered his footing, and then made a strong throw across the diamond to complete the double play and end the inning. When he first came back, he wasn't able to do that, especially not that dexterity. Didn't quite have it, but now he's all the way back.
Pitch to Cano is low, 1-0. As we go to the bottom of the second, there's no score.
That was a beautiful play.
And he had to know who was running as well, a catcher, because he took 5 long strides to the bag before he hit the bag with his right foot. Foul back. Cano on the Yankees just completed road trip 6 for 33 and his average at 297. Robinson has a big job on this team right now. He's the protection for Alex Rodriguez. So he can't go into an extended slumps because you've got to make sure Rodriguez is going to get pitches to hit. You don't want to make it easy for a team to pitch around him. And the other night when the Yankees beat the Mets on Sunday night, Robinson hit into a couple of big double plays and did not come through. So I think that this is a merit spot, the number 5 spot in this order. And if you don't hit, you're going to be moved out of it. Count 3-1. Who's the best guy you ever had hitting behind you, Paul?
Well, Bernie. Tino and Bernie. Bernie, because of he was a switch hitter, so you just couldn't obviously bring in tough lefties in because Bernie hit him so well right-handed. So, I mean, the ideal situation is have a guy with power who's a switch hitter behind you, and that's kind of what Bernie was.
Grounded up the middle and through for a base hit. So Cano with a leadoff single here in the second. Kenny, I know who it was for you.
Yeah, in fact, Paul and I were talking about him today because they had a note on the scoreboard before the game that back in 1995, was it, Paul, that Eddie Murray got his 3,000th hit on this day.
Well, this moment in Yankees history, sponsored by Mercedes, your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers on the web at searchmercedes.com. May 17th of '96, Mariano Rivera picked up his first major league save. It was against the Angels, and his manager now was his catcher then. And Joe Girardi. And now, here's his catcher now, Jorge Posada.
So you look back, either that it was a 3-inning save or John Wetland needed a day off, right? In
Exactly.
96.
Grounded right side and through for a base hit.
You know, there are certain teams that you hit well against, and Posada, for some reason, he's always hit well against Seattle. And 325 in his career against Seattle, 16 home runs, the most he's hit against any Western Division team. This pitch is right down the middle. Well, I just envision seeing Paul O'Neill rip that into the right field corner.
Something about that big hole that you see over there as a left-handed hitter, and it kind of opens up your swing. And you're right, that ball sees too much of the plate. Georgie doesn't try to do too much with it. Hits it hard.
John Wetland looks like he could still pitch. Checking out the big scoreboard.
Before he came to the Yankees, Wetland was a closer for the Montreal Expos, and at the time I was doing Expos games on radio and TV, and man, he was a pleasure to watch. In fact, he and Mel Rojas was the setup man. They were awesome.
Both good.
Oh man, they were nasty.
Wetland for a while, I can remember coming to Michael, I'm sure you saw this too. I'd be coming in the ballpark, and all of a sudden, like, jump back and get out of the way, because Wetland was like rollerblading through the tunnels.
Yeah.
I mean, around the stadium, like 100 miles an hour. So he kind of had that personality, free and easy going, but he was a competitor. He competed, and you know, he gives a lot of people credit for helping him become a closer, but yeah, he relished, you know, a lot of pressure, and you know, I think that Mariano is the same way. You don't look at Mariano as easygoing as he is, but boy, he can compete when it comes down to it.
When they open that bullpen door.
Well, Wetland was a completely different reliever than Mo, though, because Wetland made you sweat.
Yeah.
I mean, there were runners on base every now and then, and he'd wiggle out of it.
Every inning.
Yeah.
It's almost like he just dared himself to see how far he could go, but, you know, he got out of it somehow.
And the odd thing is that people forget Wetland was with the Yankees in '95, and in that series against Seattle, where he's now the bullpen coach, he could not get the Mariners out. The Yankees ended up blowing the 2-0 lead, and Wetland couldn't get out Edgar Martinez. He just couldn't do it, and that's one of the reasons why the Yankees ended up blowing that lead. They had to end up closing with Jack McDowell in Game 5, and he gave up that hit, and the rest, as they say, is history. I asked Buck Showalter today, if you knew what you had in Mariano Rivera, would you be wearing the 4 rings? And he goes, well, I don't want to answer that. He goes, he said, that's a little presumptuous. But history would have changed, I'll tell you that. And the 3-1 fouled away. Matsui's back in the lineup as a DH, a 9-game road trip in interleague play, and Matsui actually got into 8 of those games. As a pinch hitter, he's 1 for 6 with 2 walks. So actually had a .333 on base percentage. But Girardi made it a point to try to get him at bat in every single game, and he missed by 1. And in that 1995 division series, Wetland had a 14.54 ERA. Dribbled slowly toward third, and everybody's safe. And the ball is thrown past Branyan. And that will allow Cano to score. Wow. Well, Kenny, you mentioned that they're not very good defensively. That was not a good play at all.
This is error number 58 for the Mariners. That's the top error total in the league. And how many errors he's going to get? He might get one for bobbling the ball, and he might get one for throwing it away.
58 and 59.
Exactly. One for the bobble and one for the wild throw that allows Matsui to be safe and Posada to go to third and to run the score. Yeah, that's what happened.
And Woodward's usually a pretty reliable defensive player. So E5 and E5. And the Yankees have themselves a 1-0 lead.
It looked like Russell Brand. You just assumed that was going to be an easy pick, and you know, you've got to knock that ball down. Matsui was going to be safe anyway. It looked like after he bobbled the ball a few times. Your job as a first baseman is you can't let that ball get by you.
You know, Brandon's played the outfield. He's played a little third base. He's been mostly a DH, I would think.
Sure. Yeah. You can hit him 450 feet. They'll find a place for you somewhere.
50 walks for Swisher on the season. That leads the Yankees. 0-2.
I used to hate when that happened.
You see Morrow, he's just got that extra little giddy up on his fastball. These are in good locations for hitters. That ball's right down the middle, belt high, but it's got enough life on it. Nick Swisher fouls it back.
You know, you stand up there, can I get another one like that? Just try me one more time.
Isn't the old hitter's adage that you're going to get one mistake in a bat if you miss it?
Well, against the average pitcher, yeah, one. And, you know, bad pitchers, 2 or 3. And good pitchers, maybe, you know, you're going to get a pitch to foul off and try to work a walk.
Try and, you know, bloop a hit somewhere.
Could not hold up. And Nick Swisher down on strikes for the first out.
But if you look at that at bat, Michael, he had 2 good pitches to hit. And then, you know, you get a nasty breaking ball. Again, you see a fastball right there down the middle, trying to do too much. Same pitch. Both those pitches could be hit. And then right there, you know, that tough slider down and into lefties can't hold up.
He had his 2. You're right.
Put him on ice.
Well, that's a bag of ice.
Yeah,
July 4th coming. That'll come in handy.
Somebody's cooling off somewhere.
Melky Cabrera. Driven out into deep left center, giving chase Gutierrez on the run, and he makes the play. Beautiful play by Gutierrez as Posada tags and scores. A sac fly for Cabrera, and the Yankees now lead 2-0.
Tell you what, Michael, you said it. Gutierrez got a great jump on board. Did you see Ken Griffey Jr.? Just in the old days, he would have been right over there to help him. You see, there's nowhere in sight.
Well, those were the old days. These are the new days. This is the present. Gutierrez is on his own in left center field and makes the play.
You know, sometimes as an outfielder, that's good to know that nobody is in your way, that you're free to get the ball.
You're not looking at for a collision.
Did Bernie have that security with you, Paul?
Yeah, he did. Bernie had that security with everybody. He got that long stride going. You didn't want to get in his way.
But back in the day, Junior been all over that. Might have been camped underneath it.
You know, Junior, you talk about, he's a lot like Derek Jeter to me. If you watch him, you just think that, you know, he's a kid out there playing the baseball game, but he's not that age anymore. He's still a player. He's still in the major leagues.
Down to Jeter. Down to by Jeter to Woodward. And Woodward has saved an error by the quick-thinking Ronnie Cedeno. Wow. So Woodward was looking at his 3rd error. Jeter hit a hot shot, but certainly a playable ball. And it caroms right to Cedeno. And Cedeno fires to Hey, let's take a look at tomorrow's starting pitchers. Brought to you by Verizon Fios, over 100 HD channels and the fastest internet. This is Fios. This is big. Jared Washburn against Andy Pettit. Washburn with a good ERA, not a good record. And our coverage will begin at 6 with the BP show. Then 6:30 is our pregame show. And then 7:07, if there's no rain, hopefully, that'll be the first pitch. Pitch to Ronnie Cedeno as a strike.
Cedeno's in the lineup replacing Unieski Betancourt, who's our Modell's scoreboard.
And Modell's is the official sporting goods retailer of the Yankees.
Betancourt out with a hamstring injury. He's the Mariners' #1 shortstop.
Cedeno known as a glove guy. And if you look up at the scoreboard, he's living up to it. I mean, he's hitting 133 with a couple home runs, but I mean, you need in certain positions guys to catch the ball. And Cedeno hopefully is going to fill that void.
That one is driven deep to left field, giving chase Johnny Damon. He's on the run. See ya! A home run by Ronnie Cedeno, his 3rd of the year. Mariners are on the board. It's 2-1 Yankees.
Well, not only carrying a lot of leather at shortstop, but he's carrying some wood with him tonight. Got a hold of a high fastball and drilled it into the seats in left field.
He heard about this new Yankee Stadium. He did. He got a high fastball, stayed on top of it. Look, he knew it, too.
Oh, he broke it down?
That's right.
Joba had not allowed a home run here at Yankee Stadium in 20 and 2/3 innings. That's the longest streak since CC Sabathia won 30 and 1/3 innings earlier this year. So he gives up a home run to Cedeno, the #9 batter. Here's Ichiro. And a strike.
Good changeup.
And past a diving cheater in the left center field. So Ichiro now has a 12-game hitting streak as he singles into left center.
And there he is. I mean, this is what he does. I mean, he slaps the ball, puts the ball in play. But he hits the ball hard. It's not like he's grounding balls by people. This ball's driven past Derek Jeter, and just all the movement in his head. It is just amazing how he centers the ball time and time again.
Let's look at the IOTV HD Super Shot.
Hit down. I think he's on the move when he hits the ball.
And that only helps him get out of the box as a left-hander. You know, a lot of guys were clumped up in that AL batting race early in the year. Now you look at it, there's no batting race. I mean, he's 30 or 40 points ahead of everybody. And it's not like he comes back down. You know, he just continues to throw hits out there.
Pitch is high.
We talked about the number of times that Brandon strikes out. He's actually hit in 25 of his last 31 games. So he's been making some contact. He's on a 9-game hitting streak. With that slightly open stance.
You know, I know when he was in Cincinnati, he was a guy that everybody knew he had, you know, power. You put him in the lineup once in a while trying to pick the right days for home runs. But, you know, he's getting an opportunity here with injuries. And you know, he's taking advantage of it. He's put up some numbers. He's a big part of their lineup. It's always good to feel wanted, isn't it, as a player? And
I don't know about being wanted so many times.
That's right.
All these different teams he's played for.
Probably nice to feel wanted as a person, too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, come on, Michael.
Here's the 1-0. There's a strike.
Hey, there's not too many people, Michael, that drive by Fordham U and think of you. You know, I did that today, so just look at the impression you've left on me.
I have left an impression on you.
I knew coming up here today that I was going to get a chance to work with Michael. And that's awesome.
Tomorrow's a big day for
steps.
Fordham, by the way, right here in Yankee Stadium. The president of the university, Father McShane's throwing out the first pitch. Because Fordham started playing collegiate baseball 150 years ago.
Now, are you going to catch it?
I wasn't asked to, so I got it.
That's going back beyond Frankie Frisch's time.
Yeah. I think Fordham played Williams College. First baseball game ever. College baseball game ever.
We could make a call, Kenny, right? Put a mask on him and a pad, put you back there.
The 2-1. You've been trying to get a mask on me for years.
I'm just afraid I don't want you to take one off the nose or something.
Yeah, because I'm on TV for my looks. Runner at first, nobody out. 3-1 count on Brandon. It's 2-1 Yankees lead. Mariners have 4 hits against Joba. And that was a changeup to first.
That's just to let Ichiro know that he's over there. And he knows that he's over there, so he just lobs one over, not trying to pick him off. Ichiro has only stolen 13 bases this year.
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of guys get to a point in their career where they don't steal a lot of bases because of the injuries and the wear and tear it takes on your body. And you know he has the speed and the instincts to be up in the league leaders in that category if he wants to be.
Because he's on base all the time.
Right.
He's probably thinking maybe this year the way Carl Crawford's gotten off with Tampa Bay, he's got it this year. Go get it.
Yeah.
See, Paul turned into Lou Brock his last year. He stole 20 bases.
His shoes look like they can motor.
I was talking to him in the locker room about his shoes. I was really, really impressed with. I mean, he sat, he had a conversation.
Check swing, and Ichiro will advance to second. Now it is a strike. So Brandon goes down on strike, so that is a stolen base for Ichiro.
Again, it's check swing night, and we're kind of flipping coins in between. We've had 4 of them, and I think 2 of them have gone to strikes. And then there go the shoes that I was talking to Ichiro about. I told him I used to wear Tiger shoes, those Asics Tigers that he wore years ago. And as I was talking to him, I was impressed because I thought, you know, I'm having a conversation with him. He's learned the language. He's funny. The guys in the clubhouse absolutely love him.
So he was able to have a normal conversation.
You know how immediately I'm thinking, you know, I better talk slow and this and that. And as the conversation went on, it just... I was having just a one-on-one conversation about his shoes. It was kind of fun.
He was talking faster than you were.
Yeah, well.
The 1-0. Foul back.
Well, I think that's great that he's been here since 2001. And ample opportunity to learn the language, and he's done so. It's not as easy. You know, one thing about coming here, he has his translator to begin with. Now he doesn't need one anymore.
Right. And we were in Lou Kakuza's office, and there was one other guy in the office other than Lou Kakuza who I was walking in just to say hey, and it was Yogi Berra. And he was telling stories, and Ichiro asked him to sign a ball. So you see that he has, you know, some kind of history of the game here, not just what he brought from his, you know, his own home country. I thought it was really cool. Now,
Hideki Matsui still has a translator with him all the time, and I think Hideki just doesn't want to be bothered. I think Hideki knows English perfectly.
You know what? I get the idea that he knows what you're talking about when you talk to him.
Absolutely, he does.
But I think he has to translate because he wants. To me, he's sort of like a perfectionist.
Yeah, he wants nuance.
He wants everything to be perfect in the translation, and he understands what you're talking about. So I can understand that too.
Jose Lopez works a walk. So Joba not having the easiest start to this game. He's already at 46 pitches. He's had a lot of base runners. Now 6 base runners in 3 innings. And that's going to bring up Ken Griffey Jr.
Paul, when I think of Ken Griffey Jr., it's not only the great years that he's had. In the late 90s, he was the man in Major League Baseball.
Best player in baseball for a few years. And again, I was talking about it earlier. He kind of reminds me of Derek Jeter in a sense, because you look at him and you get that youthful feeling of a kid playing baseball. But then you remember, I mean, Derek's still a very productive player, obviously, and Junior's down the road a little bit. But they're not this, you know, they're not the little kids anymore.
Melky is there. you wonder. Now you kind of got out when you could still play, Paul, but you wonder. Is it frustrating for Ken Griffey Jr., who was once the greatest, to be hitting 215 right now?
Yeah, and you see, I mean, that's a pitch that he's accustomed to hitting. But again, I think it depends on the personality. I think that he still enjoys taking the field. He still enjoys being part of an organization and playing baseball, where, you know, other guys can't, you know, deal with it mentally. I mean, he was always a free and easygoing guy out there, and just played a lot on natural ability. And Kenny, you said it. For times in this game when he was in it, he was the best out there.
Well, Griffey's now hitting just 157 with runners in scoring position this season.
I think back to probably nobody will ever do this. When he hit a home run, he and his dad went back to back. I mean, that.
Yeah, that just doesn't happen.
No, just once.
I did it in my backyard with my dad once. Home run derby tennis ball game.
Yeah.
He came home from work and pinch hit.
And went deep.
That's right.
I think that happened. Wasn't it the Angel Stadium where they did that? Him and his dad went back-to-back home runs.
The 0-1 outside. Sweeney kind of made his name in Kansas City. You know, we talk about Mariano being such a good guy. There might not be a person in baseball that doesn't like Mike Sweeney. Top of the line, class act all the way, and here he is with Seattle. Tapped right back to Joba, and that's going to do it as he wiggles out of further trouble. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. The 1 run, Ronnie Cedeno line run to the seats and left field. Mariners are on the board. Yankees now lead 2-1. Son and Pop. Pop was first against Kirk McCaskill back in 1990.
Yeah, Angel Stadium. We were right on the stadium. And Stephon White couldn't get that one. And Junior follows his dad out of the ballpark. It's a family affair.
And you know darn well he went into the dugout and said something like, you know, mine went farther, or mine was a better pitch or something.
Pitch to Johnny Damon is a strike as we start at the bottom of the third. The Modell scoreboard shows the Yankees up 2-1, and Modell's is the official sporting goods retailer of the Yankees.
That's not going to happen again.
Be awfully tough.
Oh, my goodness.
You got to have the kid early. You got to stay late.
You got to be able to play as you get older.
Right.
Too. I mean, geez.
Now, Griff has a son, Trey, but I don't know if he's a major league caliber. He's still a kid. I think he's still in high school.
Well, that's what the junior's nickname was, the kid in Seattle.
He started the whole fashion of wearing the baseball cap backwards. I mean, now kids these days, they never have the bill of the hat going forward. It's always backwards.
Or crooked.
Yeah, well, that's unintentional sometimes. Turning it all the way around. I mean, that's Ken Griffey in his younger days in Seattle.
And the 3-2. Driven to right field, but it hooks foul. That's what a kid does. I've seen your sons do that, you, Paul.
Yeah, they love to now.
Same outfield for the Mariners. That's Dad. As Johnny Damon works the leadoff walk. That must have been so neat for the two of them.
Well, at least he had somebody to check on him, make sure he made curfew, right? Same guy had been checking on him his whole life.
Here's Mark Teixeira, grounded back to the mound in the first inning.
I mean, when you're on the team trips, you know, you used to talk. I talked to Tino. You know, who we eating with tomorrow? We'll meet Jeter, meet Posada. I mean, Junior. I'm going with my dad. I mean, do you hang out with your dad on the road too?
Kind of insulting if you don't. There's a strike.
Should ask him tomorrow.
I'll do that. Yeah. Stay tuned, guys. We'll figure this one out for tomorrow.
Yeah, he only got one question in on him today. He walked out.
Well, I got a good answer.
Grounded to second. There's one. On to first. It's a double play. Lopez to Cedeno to Branyan. A 4-6-3 double play. Hey fans, it's time for the Toyota text poll. Tonight's question is, what was your favorite moment from this year's Subway Series? You can text us at 58772. Was it Castillo's error? Brett Gardner's 5-hit night? Scoring 9 runs on Johan Santana? Or Mariano Rivera's RBI and 500th save? Again, you can text your vote to 58772. Standard text messaging rates apply. And A-Rod taps it right back tomorrow. This time he underhands it to Branyan, and that'll do it. No runs, no hits, no errors, and because of the double play, nobody left on base. We've played 3, and the Yankees lead Seattle 2-1. Mariano Rivera has 500 career saves. Against which team does he have the most saves?
You got to figure it's an Eastern Division team, right?
No clues. The guy that fires us is actually here today.
No, he left. He'd had
Oh,
enough
Woody
of
left?
us.
Okay.
Yeah. Here the first couple innings said, I can't take anymore. Flip will probably be here in the 5th. Huh?
A relief pitcher?
Yeah.
I'm just hinting. That's not a real heavy hit.
Pitch to Gutierrez is outside. It's an obvious hit. It's a good one. 2-1 Yankees lead. Joba's allowed 4 hits. He's walked a couple. That one's foul back. Joba does not have his great fastball today. He's at 90-91. And when he's really dominant, he's at 94, 95. And we just don't see it that often when he starts. You just don't. And there doesn't seem to be any reason for it.
One thing that's pretty consistent, though, Michael, is his breaking ball. And he's got a good one. And we saw it in Atlanta. Just about every one of his strikeouts was a breaking ball. He had 5 strikeouts, didn't walk anybody. It was nasty.
But you look back at the inning before, I mean, he had runners in scoring position, and the ball that Griffey just missed was a fastball right down the middle. And Sweeney had a good pitch to hit, too. So they weren't really great fastballs. You know, he was he got 2 outs on pitches that could have been hit.
That one's 95. So that one is his best fastball of the night. Last start against Atlanta, 99 pitches, 1 out into the 7th. Did not walk a batter. You know, I understand what you're saying with the breaking pitches, Kenny.
Yeah.
But I think the thing that seduced everybody when it came to Joba being a great starter, like a Josh Beckett, was the consistency to throw 95, 96 and have the breaking pitches. You see he's thrown 55 pitches, 31 strikes. But if he's at 91, 92, well, he could be a nice pitcher. But I don't think they look at him as an ace if he's just throwing 91.
No, you're looking at him to strike out 8 or 9 guys every time out.
Right back to Joba. Well, not so much that, but when you, I mean, we've talked about it a lot. If you have a 95-mile-an-hour fastball and you make a location mistake, it might not get hit. Yeah.
At times, yeah, you can get away with it.
And maybe it's just folly to think that a guy can throw as hard as he did out of the bullpen for the entire game. Because he would hit 100 when he came out of the bullpen when he first came up.
Yeah, well, maybe you're right. The fact that he knew he only had to go 1 inning.
Because you can see now Phil Hughes throws harder.
I was just going to say, I mean, you know, you come out of that bullpen as a starter, you have to feel kind of an adrenaline rush, a little bit, you know, no hold back. And, you know, he was successful, and he's going to be successful right. You see that breaking ball. He's going to be successful as a starter, too. Is he going to be a dominant starter? Is he going to be the next Nolan Ryan? Probably not, but he can still be a great pitcher in the major leagues. I mean, what do you need? As an organization, you need good pitching, and he's a good pitcher.
Swing and a miss. There's a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. So he's picked it up in this inning from 91 to 95 on some fastballs.
You see there, Michael, you talked about this, an overpowering fastball. This is just by him on the outside part of the plate. 4-seam fastball.
By the way, there's only one Nolan Ryan.
Yeah.
And a lot of hitters will tell you, thank goodness. There is Woodward out of there.
Well, he's got a lot of confidence in his breaking ball tonight. He's throwing it a lot, and obviously Posada senses that, keeps calling. Joba wrapped into a double play as last time up. Count 2-0.
Well, we've seen a lot of Japanese players come to the major leagues, pitchers, outfielders, infielders. But Joba is the first ever Japanese catcher in the major leagues.
That one is wrapped down the left field line. It is a base hit, and it bounces into the seats for a double. Damon might have been able to hold him to a single if that hit the wall, but it bounced on the warning track and over the wall for a 2-base hit.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed about Joba over the years, he likes the ball inside. If you get the ball in on him, he is very quick. And as you can see, this one is over the inner third of the plate, and Joba turns on it and rips it into the corner. And this has been going on. Well, he's been in the big leagues about 3 or 4 years now, and anything in, particularly up and in, he can really smoke it.
Here's Cedeno. Homer to his first time up. There's a slider away. 1-0. Snap throw to second. Just got back. Throw was a little bit high.
Two outs. Joba is trying to get the maximum lead at second base so he can score on a base hit. Now, this is a set play. You can see Cano coming into your picture. Throws a little high, but I think Joba would have back anyway, even with a decent throw to second base. Here he is, scrambling, and gets back ahead of the tag of Robinson Cano.
You know, it's not just that he got back, but it's in his mind now that they're keeping an eye, and it might save a step, you know, in the next couple of leads, and then that could give an outfielder, you know, an opportunity to throw him out. These are tough nights as outfielders. You know, you're out there, and you know if the ball gets to you on a ground ball, it's going to be wet, and that's the first thing on your mind. You don't want, you know, you got to get a good grip on the ball. You're thinking as an outfielder, you know, if I get a play here, you know, make it a one-hopper or a two-hopper where the ball's not sopping wet, because if you get a roller, by the time it gets to you, you know, you're throwing a mush ball.
How many times have you seen an all left-handed throwing left field? You don't see that very often.
That's what the Yankees have right now.
Even with Gardner, they have 4 outfielders out there. All 4 would throw left-handed.
Nice play by Alex Rodriguez. Steadies himself across the diamond, and that'll do it. Alex continues to play a good third base. No runs a hit, no errors. And the double is wasted. 1 man left on base. The backhand on the short hop by Rodriguez, and then the over the hand strong throw as we go to the bottom of the 4th. 2-1. Answer to the New York State Smokers Pit Line quiz. Mariano Rivera has 500 career saves. Against which team does he have the most saves? You want to guess, Paul?
I'm going to say the Baltimore Orioles.
He got it.
Tell him when he wins, Kenny.
That's right.
Tell him when he wins.
57
Wow.
saves.
Come on, fans. Get up. Get up on your there. Get on your feet. Everybody, let's go.
What'd you say? It was 57?
57.
He gets a bottle of Heinz ketchup.
Wow. A strike to Cano. That is big, Paul.
Fans out there just don't know what has just happened here.
That's right. It's historic. Fouled away. And did you see where he said, get up, fans? And they did?
Yeah. That was impressive, wasn't it?
The power here at the stadium. It came across the street, the power. We didn't know if it would, but it did. Morrow deals the 0-2, foul back.
Morrow does have a live fastball. We've seen a number of them tonight. They're kind of true, straight to the plate. Not much movement on it. And
you see Joba getting up high on that thing, trying to get him to throw that 96-mile-an-hour fastball out of the zone. But you're right, Kenny. It's straight, but when you get guys looking up and down, it's hard to cover.
And the 1-2. Broken bat, looper, and a base hit. So Cano is 2 for 2. Hey, Yankee fans, go to MetLife.com/Yankees for your chance to present the MetLife Player of the Month award on the field at Yankee Stadium. Simply visit MetLife.com/Yankees for official rules. No purchase necessary, void where prohibited, and sweepstakes sponsor is Metropolitan Life Insurance Company. Mark Teixeira, last month's winner, and received it from the fan who won, and Snoopy.
I didn't know Snoopy lived in New York.
Lives all over.
Yeah? Kind of like Santa Claus?
Yes.
he just flew in to present the award.
Count 1-0.
By the way, that was Cano's 29th multi-hit game, or that is Cano's 29th multi-hit game. Ichiro leads the league with 35 of them.
There's such a difference, and you can get a broken bat hit and think, that was a bad swing. I just got lucky. But if you look at that pitch, that's a good pitch. He's behind in the count. He got jammed, but it was a good swing to drive that ball into center field, even though he broke his bat.
Cano's base hit in the second inning that started the Yankee rally.
Again, when your job down in the place, he doesn't pull off of it. The broken bat doesn't come off, doesn't pop it up, stays true through it, strong enough to drive it into center field. Not off the end of the bat. Good hitters get jammed. I always heard that. That makes sense to you, Ken?
Well, you're strong enough to get it over the infielders.
Good hitters always hit them hard too. I used to wonder if that was always a true thing, or if they were trying to make you feel good when you just broke your new bat.
Pitch is high, and Posada works a walk. So Morrow has runners on first and second, nobody out. Keep your shoulder in.
Once in a while that shoulder flies, and it causes pitchers to you kind of lose that release point up in the zone.
Rick Adair, the pitching coach, talks with Morrow. That was a big concern. Kenny mentioned that Joba, the first Japanese catcher in the big leagues, and he didn't have command of the language when he got here. Catchers have to talk to their pitchers, so they use the international symbol, like he just pointed to his shoulder, keep your shoulder in, but he has learned enough English that he can communicate.
Yeah, it looks as though he's holding his own, and remember, he was the first one after to begin the conversation. Then Rick Adair, the pitching coach, who was in his first year, joined the conversation. Joba got out.
Kind of a weird question, but is it still a two-visit trip? Say that, Joba cannot communicate with the pitcher. Is it still for a coach to go out there twice and help communicate?
No.
A two visit?
Just two. If it's second time, he's got to come out of the game. Can't bring an interpreter out there.
That didn't work, huh?
Nope. You can try it once.
Better have the bullpen ready, though.
Better. Yankees lead 2-1. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning. First and second. Nobody out. 94-mile-an-hour fastball, 2-1.
See Morrow not scared to throw that fastball.
Hideki was thinking about 3 more runs.
Hideki's thinking this is great to have a couple at bats in the night, getting rid from all these pinch hits.
2-1. And a strike, 2-2.
Matsui, a 300 hitter in his career against the Seattle Mariners. Figure this game is going over big in Japan with Ichiro and Matsui playing against each other, and 2 of the best hitters ever produced by that country.
I can remember I was almost ready to bring it up right when Ichiro came over and Matsui got together for their first game. I mean, it was a big thing. It wasn't the Mariners against the Yankees. It was Ichiro against Matsui, and that's kind of died down a little bit. But you're right. There's 2 high-profile guys.
You got Joba thrown in. And a count 3-2.
One thing I noticed about Ichiro in right field, he plays a little more shallow than most of the right fielders here. And I guess he figures that if the ball's over his head, it's going to get in the seats anyway. So why not play a little closer and maybe throw somebody out at the plate?
You also take those bloops away, and I think it's important. Outfielder Ichiro probably knows he goes back on the ball well. I think that's one of the most important things outfielders can do is you either go back on the ball good or you come in, and you have to adjust yourself. If you come in well on a ball, then you play a little deeper. If you feel comfortable going back on the ball, which I think is better, obviously you can play shallow and take away those hits, and you see that's a lot of ground, especially in Yankee Stadium with a short wall.
So Chris Jakubowski's warming up. (3-2), and he walked it. He kept being high, up and away out of the zone. So a single, a broken bat single, 2 walks that loaded the bases, nobody out, and gives both Adair and Don Wakamatsu something to think about.
The pitching decisions for the Seattle Mariners have to be so tough because you know day in and day out your offense isn't going to cover up a mistake. I mean, if you give up a 4 or 5 spot, chances are you're going to lose because your offense just does not score enough runs. And you know, their strong point is their pitching. So they have to make the right decisions day in and day out to keep themselves in the games.
Yeah, they do have 2 of their starters on the disabled list, Carlos Silva and Eric Bedard. 2 of their big-time starters on the DL at this point in the season.
56 pitches for Morrow. Bases loaded, nobody out. Here's Swisher. And again, up and away to a lefty. Cano's at third. Posada is at second. Matsui at first. 12 plate appearances with the bases loaded this season. Swisher's 1 for 8, but he's driven home 6. There's a strike, count 1-1.
Kind of a slider cut fastball high in the zone, kind of a borderline pitch as a hitter. You're thinking, you know, if he gives that to me, I'm 2-0 and there's nothing but a fastball coming. But that kind of changes the count there. 1-1.
Count 1-2.
Again, that's a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, but that's a good pitch to hit. And as a hitter, you know, we looked at Nick Swisher's last at bat where he had 2 good pitches to hit. This ball is up, out for a lefty. Good pitch to hit. Looks like you try to pull an outside pitch. You almost, in your mind, start expecting him to throw a good pitch because you know you just fouled off his bad fastball. You know, a good pitch to hit. And as a hitter, you got to block that out and realize that he can make another mistake.
1-2. 2-2 reaches back for a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
For most of his career, Morrow has been a relief pitcher. So you got to figure even though they've built up his arm, there's maybe not quite the tolerance to going this far in the ball game.
And you notice, you've seen 2 pitches tonight, really. You haven't seen a lot of change-ups or anything off speed other than the breaking ball and the fastball. But
popped him up, got exactly what he needed from the first batter. Cedeno makes the catch, and there's one away. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees.
You remember the frustration of bases loaded at bats where you don't get things done, huh, Kenny? I mean, you walk up as a hitter and it's just like Christmas. I mean, you look at it, every base, there's guys waving at you, and you just see everything that's going through your mind is good. A base hits 2 RBIs, a doubles 3 RBIs, and if I get one, it's a grand slam, and the next thing you know, you miss a pitch and pop it up, and it's not like you get that opportunity time and time again.
I used to like when you look out there, bases loaded, the fastest guy was on first base.
Yeah, yeah.
Yankees 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position tonight, so they've not gotten the job done.
Look out.
Count 1-0.
It's like the Yankees haven't put a knockout punch here, but Morrow is really struggling with his control here. And as a pitcher, I mean, he's battling. He got a huge out. Good play by Joba behind the plate. But again, he doesn't have his pinpoint control right now, and it's tough to. You can't pitch around anybody. You got bases loaded, so you got to try to figure out what you can do to either get a double play ball or get another out and try to save some runs.
Well, he's just as apt to throw one right down the middle as these pitches have been almost to the backstop. Look.
Melky 4 for 9 with the bases loaded this season. Slowly toward Mariano. Makes the play at second. That's all they get. Run scores. That's Cano. That's an RBI fielder's choice for Melky. That's his second RBI of the night, and the Yankees lead 3-1.
Again, kind of a good break for the Yankees. This ball was chopped. Wasn't hard enough to turn 2, and it wasn't right at Brandon where he could go home. So Morrow makes a pretty good pitch. Good base running by Matsui. Stay in front of Brandon's view.
And a strike.
I think Morrow, if you're a pitcher, you can almost see the light at the end of the tunnel here. You've given up 1 run, but you also got to put yourself back in the situation you're in. There was bases loaded, nobody out. I think if you get 1 more out with 1 run, you'll take that. You got to try to battle to keep your team in here right here. Big hit right here kind of opens this game up.
Don Wakamatsu giving the signs.
Used to be a catcher back in the day.
A lot of thinking going on with those catchers.
It was Derek's best swing of the night right there.
Good pitch to hit. Ball out over the plate where Derek wants it. But again, it's 95 miles an hour. Derek trying to do a lot with this pitch. Right on it.
You know, sometimes you say you try and do a lot, and that lengthens your swing. You see it so well, and you swing too hard. It's not how hard you swing, it's how quickly you can swing the bat. Generate that bat speed.
1-2. That was 96 miles an hour, so he's reaching back for something extra.
You know, it's funny you say that, Kenny. It's in the counts, hitting counts in your mind, 2-0, 2-1, where you think that you're going to get a good pitch, and you do. You end up trying to overswing, and if you get that same pitch with 2 strikes where you're just trying to make contact, you'll drive that ball.
That was the 30th pitch of the inning. Foul ball.
I don't care if you're a bullpen guy or a starter. 30-some pitches in an inning with bases loaded. Very taxing.
Well, Al Leiter likens it to a boxer who's trained to go 3 minutes and all of a sudden is asked to give a 5-minute round. And he said usually you're trained to go about 18 to 22 pitches an inning, so 30 so far, 69 overall. 2-2. And that one, good fastball, 95 miles an hour, overpowers Jeter, and that'll do it. So the Yankees have the bases loaded, nobody out, and they score just one, and they leave two. And we go to the fifth inning, it's 3-1 Yanks. Thank you, Bob. No, this is not the beginning of the honeymooners. It's the fifth inning of the Yankee game. As the Yankees are leading this one 3-1 on the Lexus scoreboard, 3-4-0, beating 1-5-2. The Yankees had a chance to really do some damage in the fourth inning. Bases loaded, nobody out. They scored just one on a force out at second base. So Joba Chamberlain, who's thrown 67 pitches, will face Ichiro to start off the fifth inning. Grounded right back to Chamberlain under his glove, and Cano fields. It's a base hit. Well, Joba's going to want that one back. We'll see if they scored a base hit. Probably will.
I don't believe he touched it. So just underneath the glove as he reaches, no leather. And Cano can't come up with it. It's going to be a base hit for Ichiro. So this is going to be his 36th multi-hit game of the year.
Kenny, the funny thing is, if you or I hit that ball, they throw us out by 3 steps still.
Well, if I hit it, the pitcher's going to catch it.
Everything is magnified when you have a fast runner. You have to make things happen quicker. You stab at the ball. And
I mentioned it's Ichiro's 35th multi-hit game of the year. Since he has come into the major leagues, 2001, he's had 585 multi-hit games.
And that's an animated conversation there where Joba jabbed him twice with the baseball, and you can see that Posada said, let's go. Talking about Ichiro, I mean, if you know the story of his life, he was actually bred to be a baseball player. That's all there was to it. There was never a thought given to any other profession. That's what his father said he was going to be. He had his son from the age of 7 on, hitting him 50 ground balls every day, 50 fly balls, throwing 50 pitches from the mound, hitting 200 live pitches and 300 pitches from a machine. And he was a natural right-handed hitter, and the father said, if you're going to play professional ball, you're hitting from the left side because you're 2 steps closer to first base.
Paid off that last at bat.
He would not feed his son junk food. He made him eat the finest proteins and vitamins. And Ichiro takes off with those protein and vitamins and steals second.
Got a very good jump. You can see he's got 2 or 3, maybe 4 steps down before the pitch is even thrown, and in ahead of the tag. Posada actually makes a pretty good throw here, right on the bag, but Ichiro just too fast. 2 stolen bases tonight. Now he has 15 on the season.
He goes for third. A nice play by A-Rod to save a run. That ball was headed into foul territory. Another stolen base for Ichiro.
You know, that's not so much stolen on Posada as they're stolen on Joba. One look and then he's gone. And this might be from the scouting report. Ichiro, I'm sure he goes over and he hears that Joba doesn't check the runners very often. And he got another good jump. Posada's throw is wide. A-Rod does a good job just to stop the ball from going down the line in foul territory, and Ichiro scoring.
I tell you what, as a with a left-handed hitter up there, it's a clear view for Posada. So you've got to have a good jump. Russell Brandon drives one into right field.
And Ichiro will score just past the lunging try of Cano. So that misplay on the ground ball by Ichiro has gotten Joba into a jam. It's now a 3-2 Yankee lead and still nobody out.
Kenny, you talked about it. Ichiro not in the league leaders in stolen bases, but on given times, he's got as good a speed as anybody in the league. He can steal bases, and when you're down 2-1, those are important. Or you're down 2-2. Those are important stolen bases that end up scoring your team's run. Those aren't just tack on stolen bases to try to fill up the columns on your baseball card.
I was talking about all those multi-hit games. Over that period of time, Derek Jeter is second in multi-hit games. But it's not even close. He's more than 100 behind him. Derek has 476.
Count 0-2.
Ichiro has 585 of them. It's almost like 3 seasons with multi-hit games.
He's going to be one of those players who ends up playing about 10 years in the big leagues, and he'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Ground it softly to Jeter. He gets the force at second. That's all they get. Fans, now's your chance to own a piece of history from the original Yankee Stadium. Seats and other memorabilia are now on sale at Yankees.com. Now all items come with a Yankee Steiner letter of authenticity. For more information and to purchase original Yankee Stadium seats and other collectibles, visit Yankees.com today and click the Shop tab. Here's Griffey, 2 fly balls to center field. And a strike. So weird to see that line and see Griffey hitting 215. He's had 3 home runs in his last 19 at bats. Now 1-1. Told you he has 620 home runs. You wonder if he didn't have all those injuries and missed all those games, would he be up around 700?
We were talking about that before the game. I'd give him 700.
I guess we'd have to figure out how many games he missed while he was with Cincinnati, because it was a boatload. Runner goes, pitches inside, throw to second, not in time.
That was a tough pitch to throw on, and Lopez moves himself into scoring position. That's only his second steal of the season. Well, this is very difficult. Not only does Posada have to come up with it, but then throw over Griffey, and really no chance to throw out the runner.
And that ball down and in kind of puts Georgie in a tough situation to get off a throw. But again, I mean, the scouting report must be that, you know, Joba being a power pitcher, kind of slower to the plate. I'll tell you what, if you're having trouble scoring runs, I think you do need to move runners.
That's the top five. Bonds at 762, Hank at 755, Dave 714, Willie 660, and Griffey 40 behind.
The funny thing is, you read a lot about players. If they get to certain numbers, they're Hall of Famers and this and that. It doesn't matter what Ken Griffey Jr. does the rest of his career. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer because, like we've said, at a certain point in the game for years, he was the best player, if not all of baseball, in the American League. You know, he was the type of player that did everything: defensive, running, had a beautiful swing, power. One of those guys is still looking for that first World Series ring, though, okay?
I mean, you got 4 of them?
5.
Can you loan one to them?
Well,
just for a little while? Let them look at it?
Being on good teams has a lot to do with that, believe me.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, here's the stat. You know, we said, would Griffey have the other 80 home runs as Dave Island goes out and talks with Joba? Well, Griffey averaged just 98 games played per season from 2000 to 2005. So let's say that he missed, for argument's sake, 60 games a year for 5 years. So that's 300 games. Yeah. And that's about 2 seasons. Would he have those 80 home runs? I guess it'd be close.
He'd be knocking on the door if he didn't have it.
Yeah.
I tell you, every game missed in Cincinnati, that's a launching pad. Every game missed in Cincinnati is an opportunity to hit 1 or 2, because that you know, if you're a power hitter and you're doing well, the ball jumps out of there.
Pitch is high to Sweeney in the count 1-0.
One time Mike Sweeney was one of the hitters in this league you did want to see up there with men on base. I mean, he, as Alfredo Aceves gets up in the Yankee bullpen, Sweeney holds the Kansas City records for RBIs in the season.
Popped up center field, coming on as Cabrera for the second out.
Again, these aren't typical Mike Sweeney at bats. I mean, he was one of the tougher outs in Kansas City in the American League. He had power. He stayed, you know, he always did kind of a no stride thing. Good contact hitter. Strong enough to drive the ball out of the park. Joba's made a couple good pitches to get to 2 outs. Again, these are the at bats that make or break games, and it's you know, 2 outs with an opportunity to get out of an inning. Or if you give up a base hit, you know, you're in a tie game.
There's Gutierrez, who came over from the Indians in the 3-way deal with the Mets that sent J.J. Putz to New York. There's a strike. And the way their new GM wanted to build this team, he wanted defense in the outfield. I mean, for a couple of years, had Ichiro playing center. And he's kind of out of position there, although he did a nice job. But they wanted to get legitimate fly chasers. And in a perfect world, Griffey would be a DH. He wouldn't be in the outfield. Broken bat, pop up, right center. He's going to dunk in for a base hit. And the score is going to be tied. Jose Lopez touches home plate. Griffey moves to third. A broken bat RBI bloop single by Gutierrez, and it's all even at 3.
Well, you mentioned, Paul, you make a good pitch every once in a while, and I believe Joba did here, but Gutierrez gives up the bat for an RBI single. Pitch was up, out over the plate. He hits it right off the end of the bat. Bat is history. But it's going to be a base hit. He hit it so poorly that Melky couldn't get to it. Just drops in front of him for an RBI.
Here's Chris Woodward. It all began with a ground ball that just went under the glove, inexplicably went under the glove of Joba Chamberlain at the bat of Ichiro. Then he stole second, he stole third, and he scored on a single. Kind of built a run right there. Joba about to throw his 85th pitch. Pitch is high to Woodward. Now 1-0.
Yeah, Michael, you were talking about the speed in the outfield. The reason for that in Seattle, we just came from Turner Field in big outfield. The same thing can be said for Safeco Field in Seattle. There's a lot of room to roam in the outfield here.
Tell you one thing, Kenny. Citi Field makes Turner Field seem like Citizens Bank Ballpark.
Really?
It's enormous. It's almost too big.
You get the look at it on TV, but I'm sure in person you get the feel. You get more of a feel.
It seems like acreage out there, not foot.
So what the Mets need are speedy outfielders.
Well, great pitchers. Well, Keith Hernandez said that they need to build a team like the Cardinals did in '85. That's the sort of team they need in that ballpark. That one is driven deep to left center field, giving Chase Cabrera. He's out there, and he'll make the play for the final out of the fifth. 2 runs for the Mariners. They leave 2, and it started with Ichiro. A simple ground ball under the glove of Joba. Then he quickly steals second, and then he steals third. And he will score on a single, building a run by Ichiro. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by J&R Music and Computer World, and by Ford, the official truck of the New York Yankees. Well, we're all even at 3 apiece here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Damon Teixeira and A-Rod against Morrow. And there's a strike.
Morrow had a tough inning last inning, mid-30s in pitches, but every one of them stressful with bases loaded, nobody out. Important for the Yankees to try to put him back on the ropes. The bullpen was going last inning. But again, we've talked about it. I mean, Seattle's strength is their bullpen and their pitching. So you want to try to stay away from these games that are decided late in the game in the bullpen against Seattle, because that's their strength.
So on the Lexus scoreboard, 3-8-2 for Seattle and 3-4-0 for the Yankees. Another big crowd here at the stadium. Look around the ballpark. Very few empty seats as the Yankees just came off a long road trip, 9 games. Finally back here in the Bronx.
A lot of fans hung in there through the rain delay prior to the ball game.
Seems like all of them did.
Wow.
58-minute rain delay.
Was that a deluge or what? Man.
It was coming down so heavy they started to pair off animals. Just to make sure.
Is that an original, or have you used that one before?
I've used it before.
I know, believe that.
The 1-2. And again, he breaks his bat. Paul, there's got to be a reason. Why does he break so many bats?
You know what? I'm trying to figure it out too. I think that, you know, he's not afraid to get jammed, obviously, and he does end up with one hand on the bat at times. But you know, anybody that breaks as many bats as he does, and then, you know, he'll hit one in the second deck for you too. So it's just his style of hitting.
Line drive caught by Lopez, and there's one away. Hey, tonight after the postgame on Yes, don't miss WB Mason presents the Joe Girardi Show. Get the skipper's thoughts on the weekend series at Citi Field and a look at this series with the Mariners. It's the Joe Girardi Show. It's tonight after the postgame, and an all-new one Sunday at 5 only on Yes.
See that little van? There it goes. I saw one of those today. I was hitting golf balls up in Westchester, and I looked back and I was like, there goes the WB Mason van. We don't have those in Cincinnati, so you know you're in New York when you see those things going by.
How'd the golf balls go?
Pretty good. I got it all figured out now.
Good.
Yeah.
Now, last time you were in town, I think you told Kenny and I that you were giving it up. You went 3 holes and walked off.
I met a guy today at Doral, Chris. He's got it all figured out for me. That's right.
All right.
It's kind of like baseball. One day you're ready to quit, and the next day you hit a home run.
Hit sharply and past the diving Lopez into right field for a base hit. Bobbled by Ichiro, but Teixeira will stay right there with a 1-out single.
He marked Teixeira again, getting a fastball, kind of running away, but you see that his front hip kind of bails, but he keeps his head and his body on the ball. This ball was ripped. It's good extension. That's where all that power comes from. It's his bat extended away from his body.
Here's Alex Rodriguez 0 for 2. Pitch up and in.
You know, here's where last inning, working so hard for Morrow, over 30 pitches last inning, and getting out of it. Here's what you find out what he's made of for the rest of the game. Can he come back and have a? So he's given up a line drive out. He's given up a hard single. That should tell. That would tell me to get the bullpen going.
It's not really the velocity. You see, that's 92, but he's been up in the 90s, you know, 94, 95, but it's the location. He hasn't been able to pinpoint that fastball really all night. He's gotten away with it early because of his velocity, but, you know, he hasn't been able to go to a second pitch. And, you know, granted, he really battled to get out of that bases-loaded jam last year, but the last inning. But you see that the bullpen is going to be up and running here soon.
This could be right down the middle.
The 2-0. One breaking ball in the count 3-0. And these are the pitches by inning, how it broke down. Obviously, that 31 pitch 4th inning is put him behind the 8 ball right now. 83 pitches. And Chris Jakubowskis warming again. And Morrow walks A-Rod on 4 pitches. His season high 87 pitches. That was in his last start. And he's at 84 right now.
That was kind of the David Cone philosophy of pitching. There really wasn't a base open, but there's a base open. It just wasn't the base open that you wanted. I mean, he walked him. He got 2-0, went to breaking ball to walk him. Still keep the double play in order, but hopefully you can make some better pitches here to Robinson Cano.
I think the league senses that A-Rod's starting to warm up, so they're being a little careful with him.
10th walk in his last 6 games. And that puts a lot of pressure on Cano.
Yeah.
Because they'll keep walking him unless Cano makes him pay. The Yankees 0 for 7 tonight with runners in scoring position. Foul back. 1 run they got on an error. Another run they got on a sac fly. And another run they got on a ground ball, force out at second.
See, Morrow was kind of getting away from fastball every pitch mentality. That was a changeup. He threw a couple sliders or breaking balls to A-Rod.
Fights it off and fouls it off upstairs.
You see again the location. That ball was supposed to be in on Robbie's hands. It ends up out of the strike zone away. That ball just absolutely tailing away, and that, you know, velocity has a lot to do with it as you get that movement. But again, you get a little tired, you start flying open a little bit. Ball tendency to throw high. Earlier in the game, he threw that hard slider down and into Nick Swisher, and you really haven't seen enough of that to left-handed hitters.
See Joba show with his bare hand, get the ball down, come on.
That one is looped to left field. Could be trouble if it's fair. It's a foul ball. Two. Again fouled away.
There's that slider, and you see Joba back there. Just, I mean, not always do you get a strikeout with a strike. If he can get that ball down and in off the plate, breaking hard off the plate, hard for a hitter, especially with Robbie seeing all those fastballs up in the zone, to lay off of that pitch as a left-hander. Don't always have to throw a strike to get a strikeout.
He strikes him out. Goes up the ladder, throws him a fastball, and Cano swings through. 2 away.
And Paul was absolutely right on this last pitch. It was not a strike. We'll check out the pitch by pitch. That's right over the inside corner for a strike. It's a good pitch to hit. Fouled it off. That was up. Breaking ball, hung high. Fastball, he fouled it off. Little slider, fouled that one off. And then he chased one out of the zone. And as Paul said, sometimes it does not have to be a strike, particularly against certain hitters who are up there, you know, maybe don't have the plate discipline that some of the others. And Cano is one of those hitters that if he can see it, he's going to swing at it.
Kenny, I was kind of counting during that pitching sequence, 8 or 9 pitches, and he had 1 pitch to hit. He had that 1 pitch that center of the plate that he fouled off, and everything else was pretty much out of the zone. And you know, as a hitter, you go back and you go through the at-bat in your mind, and that's that 1 pitch. It was a 3rd or 4th pitch that he had a good pitch to hit. You got to hit and get out of that count.
So they're pushing Morrow to places he has not been this year. 87 was his pitch count high. Now he's at 93, 56 strikes.
No, they said there's no more limits, which means he should be good to go around 100.
changeup. Again, I think he's used that changeup more this inning than he has all game. And that's just because I can't pinpoint my fastball. You know, I got to figure out a way to get an out here. Definitely is probably his last inning. If he can come out with the game tied, I feel like, you know, he's done a good job. Breaking ball there. So, I mean, here's an at-bat where he hasn't shown his good fastball yet. Again, as a hitter you face him, this is your third at-bat. You've seen a lot of fastballs, and all of a sudden, you know, you start seeing change-ups and sliders, and then you'll start wavering at that fastball high out of the zone.
Checks the swing, according to Mike Venero. Going on 3-2, ball foul back.
Every once in a while you say, you know, that's a good pitch. That's a good pitch for a hitter. I mean, that ball right there, Georgie had to fight off. That's a 95-mile-an-hour fastball that hit exactly where he wanted it, right in on your hands. And as a hitter, you see him pull his hands in there just to get to it. You know you spoiled a good pitch there, and you just hope that he makes a mistake. I mean, this isn't a situation where Morrow has to just throw one down the middle. I mean, runners are running, 3-2, 2 outs. You still got a base that's going to be open.
3-2. He walked it. So the bases are loaded. Will Wakamatsu let Morrow pitch out of it with Matsui coming up?
Again, this, if you look back at that, that's much of the same at bat that Robbie Cano had. But Jorge got to certain pitches and he laid off certain pitches, fouled off the tough pitches, and laid off that pitcher down and in. Again, right there, slider had a decent hack at, but again, Morrow didn't give him much to hit with change-ups, sliders. Laid off that ball out, and this is the one that kept Georgie in the bat and took the slider down and in. Ball 4. Good piece of hitting. More
disciplined hitter at the plate for the Yankees.
Wakamatsu is going to take the ball from Morrow. They are going to go to the bullpen. So Morrow leaves the bases loaded with 2 outs. Jakubowskis will come in to face Matsui. They don't have a left-hander in the bullpen, so the righty will try. Audi dealers. Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. Well, Don Wakamatsu, the manager of the Mariners, makes the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT Your World delivered. So Morrow is out. He threw 59 pitches over the last 2 innings, and they turn it over to Chris Jakubowskis. You see his numbers, about a hit per inning.
Pitcher out of the University of Oklahoma, where he played mostly first base and outfield.
Those are the numbers on Morrow. Season high 98 pitches, the 3 runners on base, his responsibility. And there's a strike to Matsui.
Jacobascus is a rookie. So a rookie called upon in a tough situation with a veteran hitter at the plate.
You can see why Morrow, I mean, in the starting rotations late in the game when he got to throwing that slider and that changeup and mixing it with his good fastball, how he can be a successful starter. Tonight he battled out of some jams. He didn't have great pinpoint control, but he got big outs when he needed them.
Yeah, he's hoping that Jacobascus could get the job done because those are his runners on base. He can't win the game, but he can lose it.
There's definitely a lunch date on the line right here. If he gets out of this, save you a couple earned runs, or take him to lunch tomorrow.
In the Big Apple?
In the Big Apple, too. There's a lot of choices, right?
Yeah. There's some highfalutin restaurants down in Miami.
Even for lunch,
Manhattan,
you don't even have to wait for the dinner menu. You know? Good. Again, Matsu's first time that he's seen this curveball tonight. Now that's in the back of your mind, but again, you're in a situation where you're only going to get one shot at this guy. You know, you have a scouting report, but until you see how he releases the ball and things like that, reading a pitcher for the first time can be tough. Back to a little sharp breaker again.
Now Matsui's got himself in a primetime fastball count here.
I tell you, as a hitter, exactly. This is where you can get locked up if he goes back to that slow curve, because he's thrown the slow curve, then he kind of sped it up through a little shorter one. Now you're dead fastball mode as a hitter. You go back to that breaking ball. Sometimes you can get frozen.
You figure he wanted to make it happen 2-2 because he doesn't want the count to go to 3-2 because anything could happen. 3 balls and 2 strikes. That's why I said it was a primetime fastball count.
It's a good pitch. Fastball in the inner half, 94 miles an hour.
Morrow kind of in a trance.
They're saying, come on, one more pitch.
And he rolls over on the pitch and grounds it for first. The toss to Jacobascus. That'll do it. So Morrow appreciates the effort by the reliever. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 3 men left. That probably cost Morrow some lunch. Wakamatsu might pay. We get our Green Mountain K-Cup coffee system from the same people who bring us our office supplies. WB Mason. Who but? Well, the Yankees are 0-4-9 with runners in scoring position tonight. And that's not going to get it done, so they're almost fortunate to be tied at 3. And that's where we are right now.
Left 5 men on the last 2 innings.
Joba deals to Kenji Jojima. 0-1. 3-8-2. Tied with 3-5-0. Count 0-2. The pitches by inning for Joba, adding up to 88. Pretty consistent. Had that economical second. Just missed. Tough pitch to take.
Heard Ron Copeland not only call the pitch, he called it verbally.
Now the Yankees have won 5 in a row, but incredibly enough, they're 14 for their last 67. That's 209 over the last 6 games with runners in scoring position. So they've gotten some timely hits, but not enough to blow games open.
You said it, Michael. I mean, with a couple timely hits tonight, I mean, this could be a blowout, and they've had a lot of opportunities. And you'd have to go back through the tape to see if it was Morrow making good pitches or if they got themselves out in big situations.
Phil Koch getting ready. So it goes from 0-2 to 3-2. And that one is tapped over the head of Jeter for a base hit. Almost like a tennis backhanded serve into left field for a leadoff single.
Out on the Wimbledon grass out there.
With a new roof.
With the roof, that's right.
Yeah.
Broke out the roof last night.
It had a little funky sound to it as he hit it off the end of the bat. Sort of like a reaching forehand here, or
That's
backhand.
what happens when those hands get real loose on the bat, and you just kind of get a different sound. You see G give him what he had, but couldn't quite get it.
Jojima's second hit of the night.
And Cedeno with the push bunt, a sacrifice. And the play is made, and again, inexplicably, a player slides into first base to try to speed up the process. So the sacrifice is successful, 1-4.
Well, the Mariners lead the league in sacrifice bunts. This is going to add to their total. That is their 36th sacrifice bunt of the year. And Cedeno now has, he's got 5 of them himself.
Well, with the lefty swinging Ichiro due up and the tying run at second base, they're going to give the ball to Phil Koch and take it from Joba Chamberlain. So Chamberlain threw 94 pitches, and he lasted 5 1/3. Not his best performance, certainly not his worst, as Koch will come on to face Ichiro with the go-ahead run at second. Stay around. It's time for another look at tonight's Toyota text poll. Again, the question was, what was your favorite moment from this year's Subway Series? You've been texting us at 58772. Here are the results. 52% say it was Mariano's RBI and 500th save. That was on Sunday. Luis Castillo's error also got a lot of votes. Then the 9 runs on Santana. And poor Brett Gardner had a 5-hit night. A night for the ages. He just got 6% of the vote.
They just expect more, you know, a couple more of those. That's right. I'll tell you one thing, and your voice was the highest on Castillo's.
Yeah, it hurt me for a while.
That did?
Yeah.
I heard the replay.
Not as much as it hurt him.
That was impressive.
So Joba will watch the rest of this game as Coke will come on to face Ichiro. Coke in his last 13 appearances, 12 innings, 5 hits, a run, and 13 strikeouts. He's walked 3. Tough customer up against him right now, Ichiro Suzuki.
Here's a scouting report on Ichiro. I mentioned since 2001, 585 multi-hit games. Derek Jeter second in that category. 8 straight 200-hit seasons. And he's hit in 58 of his last 62 games. That's hitting.
Just day in and day out.
Those are the numbers on Coke.
Remember, Ichiro started the year on the disabled list. He had a bleeding ulcer, and I think that they diagnosed that in spring training, and he began the year on the DL. He's still going to get 200 hits this year.
Not there, though. As Melky drifts back to make the catch. And the throw comes all the way into A-Rod.
Ball was hit hard.
Well, in Ichiro's case, they've evened out tonight. They say they even out. You know, you get a bleeder right up the middle for a hit last time, then you hit one on the nose, and it goes right at the center field. So you try to figure this game out. Not the best position as a center fielder to be backtracking with a man on second base, but Melky gets it done. Obviously, always want to kind of circle the ball and then have your momentum going towards your throw, especially with the man tagging up.
There's another lefty, Russell Brandon. And there's a strike.
Yeah, before the game, managers look at the opposing lineup and they look for situations where to bring in the, you know, Joe Girardi's got the one left-hander out there in Phil Coe. This is a situation. 2 lefties in a row in the lineup.
Late in the game, with, you know, in a tie game, this is kind of a no-brainer here, right?
And there's already 1 out, so you know this might be the only 2 guys that Coke faces in the game tonight.
Cowboy. A lot of people look at the last couple of innings of a game. Well, that's when it's decided. Sometimes the game could be decided right here in the 6th. And Joe Girardi getting a sense, I've got to get these 2 guys out. I don't want to take a deficit into the bottom of the inning, so this is when he goes with his lone lefty in the bullpen. The 0-2. Yankees still waiting for Marte to get back off the DL as Phil Hughes continuing to throw in the bullpen. He's been so impressive as a reliever. And the pitch. He struck him out. Good job by Coke. He gets Ichiro on the fly ball to center. And he strikes out Branyan, stranding the go-ahead run at second. No runs a hit. 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It's 3-3. Fans, your dream can now be a reality at the New York Yankees Fantasy Camp. Offering the most authentic New York Yankees experience possible, you'll spend a week with players you once idolized while building memories and friendships that will last forever. For more information about this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, call 1-800-368-CAMP or log on to Yankees.com today. Nick Swisher lost one to left field. And Griffey makes the play. One pitch, one out here in the sixth. That's going to bring up a Melky Cabrera. Melky's driven in 2 runs tonight. A sac fly and a ground ball. Shows bunt, takes a strike. If you just turn it on the set and you go, why is it in the 6th inning? It's 10:30. Well, the start of the game was delayed 58 minutes by a torrential downpour. But no delay since, no interruptions. The count now 0-2. Well, you know it's a long name when your first and last letter in your armpits. As Cabrera swings and misses.
I'm afraid to say his name. Somebody will be in my ear screaming at me it's the wrong one, you know. I just left that up to you.
He still knows Salta Lamakia, though. He is still no, is it Jared Salta Lamakia?
Yeah.
In Texas?
Well, this is just 11 letters. That's not. Try it, Paul.
Jakobauskas.
Pretty good.
Is that right?
Yeah. There it is on the lineup sheet, the lineup card for Don Wakamatsu.
You know, if you're a manager, you got to give this guy a nickname or something, right?
Probably Jacko.
Yeah, Jake, something. Good curveball. I tell you one thing, he's come in a pressure situation, bases loaded. Throws a good fastball and a good curveball.
Well, in baseball, no matter how short the name is, you're going to get a nickname. Jeter, 5 letters is G.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. O'Neill was O. And it goes on and on like that.
You know, you signing all these baseballs, you know, you go to the All-Star game, you just got to sign like 12 dozen baseballs.
12?
So it was more than that.
Yeah, it's up there.
The league had to get theirs. And I'm signing all these balls, and I'm thinking, how come I can't be Lee May for the day? Or Ed Ott.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. That's an impressive inning for Chris Jakobauskas as he retires the Yankees in order on 8 pitches. And he strikes out 2. Good stuff. We go to the 7th inning. It's 3-3 on the Live Yankee games at the beach. Live Yankees games at the office. Live Yankees games on Paul O'Neill's porch. Now you'll never miss a live Yes Network Yankees game again. Starting July 8th, Bronx Bomber fans will be able to watch live Yes Network games on their personal computers and laptops. If you're an Optimum Online and IOTV customer that watches the Yes Network, go to yesnetwork.com to get more information and sign up for your subscription now. Here's Phil Hughes. And he has been lights out of the bullpen. The bigger numbers came from starting, but out of the bullpen, his ERA is under 2. There's a ground ball to short. And a nice swipe tag by Teixeira, saving Jeter and Errol.
Again, sometimes the ball gets to you on a wet night. You get a little slippery thing. Simple plays. Might lose your concentration. That ball looked like it slipped out of his hand.
A little frisbee action on that.
You kind of, as soon as you release the ball, your heart stops because you know it's not where you intended it to go. Oh, good play. Thanks, Tex.
Here's Griffey. There's a strike. Now, with all due respect to Ken Griffey Jr., it shows you the offensive problems that this club has. That Ken, with a .215 batting average, is batting cleanup. But he does have the 9 home runs. 10 years ago, he was the perfect number 3 and number 4 hitter. But he's going to be 40 in November. He's not the same player. And here he's batting cleanup for Seattle. Top of the 7th inning. It's a 3-3 game.
Think about it now as opposed to then. If you made just a hint of a mistake 10 years ago, the ball's going out of the ballpark.
Right.
Now, you have to make a bigger mistake for him to get to it and get it out. But he can still do it. It tells you by the 9 home runs. So he just had a beautiful swing, uppercut swing, and it was quick. Maybe not quite as quick anymore. That's the problem.
96 from Phil Hughes. That's the difference as a reliever and as a starter. Starter, he would throw 91, 92, occasionally get it to 93. Here, he's at 95, 96. And the 2-2. Swing and miss. 96.
Again, Michael, you talked about it. Different stuff out of the pen. Fastball right there. Curveball just to show him out of the zone. Good curveball back door. This is the pitch that set up the next fastball. He hesitates and throws it right by him. 96 miles an hour.
That was a textbook style of pitching. Sequence of pitching, I should say. Just one pitch setting up the next one.
Phil Hughes says, hey, I'd still love to be a starter, but I want to be in the big leagues no matter what I have to do. That's a fastball strike to Sweeney.
I'll tell you what, if he finishes the year, how he feels now out of the bullpen, there's nothing better than a young kid with confidence. I mean, if he goes into next year with the confidence he builds by just continually coming out of the pen and doing a good job, he's going to be a better pitcher for it.
If you go back and read the old stories from 95 when Mariano went to the bullpen, and then 96 when he was setting up for Wetland, he said, well, I'm doing this now. Obviously, I'm going to be a starter again. That's what my goal is. Poor guy still waiting. Talked to Brian Cashman about Hughes in the bullpen. He said, listen, is this good for his long-term starting? No, he said, because he's not going to get to the pitch count limit or the pitch inning limit that we want. He said, but you also have to weigh that with helping us win right now. Breaking ball has popped up to left field, and Phil Hughes, the way he's pitching, is helping the Yankees win right now. A 1-2-3 inning, and he did it on 9 pitches. So the Mariners go down in order at the end of 6.5. It's time for the 7th inning stretch. Yankees and the Mariners are tied at 3, but we stay right here and honor America in the Bronx.
offer a moment of silent prayer as we remember the servicemen and women who are serving our country at home and around the globe. Now please join Kate Smith as she sings God Bless America.
Thank you, Bob. Bottom of the 7th inning, and 0-2 count now on Johnny Damon. It'll be Damon, Teixeira, and A-Rod. It becomes a battle of the bullpens now between the Yankees and Seattle. Chris Jacobatsis on for a second full inning of work. Count 1-2. Serve down the left field line. Fair ball. It's trouble. It's a fair ball. Bounces into the seats for a double. So the Yankees have the go-ahead run in scoring position.
Yeah, Johnny Damon picks on a pitch. You can see the fastball moving away from him, and it's a pretty good piece of hitting here. As he slaps it the other way, the ball is slicing away from Griffey Jr. and about a foot fair, and then up into the seats for a ground rule double. So Johnny Damon with a lead-off two-base hit here in the bottom of the 7th inning to get things started for the Yankees.
Here's Mark Teixeira, and he fouls it back. 3 more days for All-Star voting, and Kevin Youkilis has just moved ahead of Mark Teixeira again in the latest voting. Teixeira's at 2nd place for first baseman in the American League.
You were talking about the slugfest going on with Boston, and the interesting story there is John Schmoltz's second start. It was 4 innings tonight, 3 hits, and only gave up 1 run, but he was taken out after a rain delay. So a pretty successful outing for Schmoltz in his second outing from coming back.
52 pitches. In his first start, he got roughed up in the first inning, but really settled down after that.
He knows how to pitch. It's just a matter if he can still do it. Right. Simple as that.
The 0-2. Missed high.
Joba was a minor league free agent signed by the Seattle Mariners. This guy's had some perseverance as we look at Brian Bruni, who's persevered himself through some injuries the last couple of years, but warming up in the Yankee bullpen.
Line drive.
That was a rocket. Had some legs on it. Ripped down the first base line. Just foul.
I'll tell you what, that ball right there, you see those marks on his bat. That one was hit right on the barrel. It wasn't one of those jam shots.
Pulled the string, and Teixeira way out in front. That's some nice pitching there by Joba.
That's his third strikeout. I was talking about his perseverance. This guy pitched 5 years in Independent League. Good fastball fouled off. Another one right down the middle. Up and in, just missed for a ball. Here's the rocket. And then finally, off-speed breaking ball strikes him out.
Again, looking at that pitching sequence, 2, possibly 3 good pitches to hit in that at bat, and he hammered one of them foul. And then you give that pitcher an opportunity to throw his best curveball, which he did.
See Alex with the 229 average, but with all the walks, he's got an on-base percentage approaching 400. He walked his last time up, so he's 0 for 2.
Joba went out and talked to Joba prior to this at bat. Let's see what they had on their mind here. Are they going to really pitch to him, or are they just going to pitch around him? And that's why Michael was talking about earlier the importance of the on-deck hitter, and that's Robinson Cano, to force the Mariners at least give A-Rod something to hit.
I used to hate these at bats too, Kenny, and I'm sure you had that a lot when you walk up there with the men in scoring position, and the first thing that enters your mind is, am I going to get something to hit? And usually the first pitch in the bat kind of tells you if they're coming after you, or if they're going to, try to throw one in at your knee and then try to paint one away. And those at-bats are tough.
I can think back to that 1998 season where guys were just running away with it and had a great year and won all those games. That particular year, broadcasting that year or telecasting the games that year, I felt like the weatherman from San Diego. I mean, it's just a lot of good
Sunny
news.
And bright
every day. But it was that sort of thing that you made those decisions, and all of a sudden, they're going to pitch to O'Neill here. There's a base hit. And that's primarily because Bernie Williams is on deck.
Absolutely. And in those days, I always thought that, pitching around people was silly because, your lineup was solid. Everybody took their turns and driving in runs.
The 0-1 inside.
It was good news every day. Just 75 and sunny. Head to the beach, get your golf clubs out. Little league games will not be rained out.
A tough Little League season, from what I understand around here, huh? They don't have tarps for the field in Little League. Good pitch. He missed there. He got that fastball out over the plate, but again, A-Rod in the back of his mind, both pitches in. The second pitch in off the plate. Back of your mind thinking, they're going to try to get me out with balls in off the plate to make me swing, and then the pitcher, misses a little bit, but mentally you're not really ready to hit because you're playing a mind game whether he's going to give you something to hit or not. You get the curveball count here.
Yankees tonight 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position after Teixeira just struck out. And that's where Damon is. He's in scoring position. A-Rod's at the plate at 2-2 count. With runners on, A-Rod in his career at 309 hitter. And the 2-2. That was drilled deep to left. Turning, looking, Griffey. See ya! A long home run for Alex Rodriguez. A 2-run shot. And the Yankees lead 5-3. The 565th of his career. And the 12th of the season for A-Rod.
Well, early in the ball game, I talked about his fielding ability starting to come on, and which means he's getting closer to 100%. And the way he's been swinging the bat lately, man, that was up and in. Tried to tie him up and couldn't do it.
You know, if you look at the pitching sequence, every single pitch, the same pitch, fastballs in off the plate. Alex Rodriguez finally made up his mind he was going to get to that ball inside. Never got to a curveball in that.
Here's a swing, and watch the manager behind him. Yep. 2 more runs for the Yankees, and there's Sheriff, a little more fired up. Way to pick me up after striking out.
That's exactly it. Kenny picked up a teammate, and the pitch to Cano is low and inside. Rodriguez now with 39 runs batted in. We told you 12 home runs on the season, 565 in his career as he creeps up into the top 10. He's 4 away from tying Rafael Palmeiro for 10th on the Yankee or the Major League's all-time home run list.
It's funny, it's that meeting before that Alex Rodriguez stepped to the plate and said, hey, we're not going to get beat with a curveball here. Make him hit something hard in off the plate.
When he starts getting, when he starts getting to that one, that's a warning for the rest of the league. Because it's getting hard to jam him, and you know you can't lay anything out over the plate. So what can you do?
Now the Yankees made a trade today as we take another look at what the guys are talking about. Up and in, and he kept his hands in.
Wow.
And just crushed it.
You know, the thing about him, why he's such a good home run hitter, because he can hit a lot of different pitches out of the park. He can hit the one out over the plate to right center. We saw that at Citi Field. And he can hit the one up and in.
You see that stride. He's not closing himself off at all. You know, he was able to open up to that pitch, get to it easily. I mean, that wasn't a single swing. That was a pitch. I'm looking in. This guy thinks he can beat me in.
That one's driven deep to center field. Going back, Gutierrez. On the track, he'll make the play for the second out.
Again, I mean, you're going to look at this pitch-by-pitch sequence, and it looks like a rerun. Every single pitch, hard and in, off the plate. He missed early right here. He got one out over the plate, but again, right here, A-Rod's getting in his mind, all right, he thinks he can beat me with that ball in. Well, I'll tell you what, that wasn't an easy pitch to hit. I mean, he got to that pitch quickly with something behind it. That ball was absolutely crushed.
The best reaction was Joba. Did you see what he did?
I mean, and you see A-Rod talking to Pena. Pena's eyes are, you know, as big as golf balls. But what are you going to say? You know, you can hit like that too, kid. I mean, not everybody can hit balls like that, and that's what you appreciate when you, as a fan, when you walk in here and see Alex Rodriguez get a hold of one.
It's going to be awfully tough for the Yankees to follow the Philippon rules, and that's that A-Rod has to rest once a week. And if you're Joe Girardi, you don't want to take A-Rod out of the lineup, but they feel that you have to do that to keep him fresh. That one is drilled down the right field line, but foul. After he got those 2 days off in Miami, Kenny, he really became a different player.
Yeah.
He seemed like he was livelier in the field, at the plate as well. He was worn down playing every single game after the surgery.
Here's my point, Michael. How much does DHing count towards a day off?
Yeah. I think they mean full day. Yeah, I really do. And that's why they got Eric Hinske. And if you joined us late, Yankees made a trade with the Pirates, bringing the veteran infielder, outfielder Eric Hinske, and Hinske will play third the days that Alex sits. Doesn't mean you can't pinch hit him, though, Kenny.
Yeah, I guess not. I haven't seen Hinske in the dugout. I don't know if he's here yet.
There was a delay. He was on a plane in Pittsburgh, but it was not taking off because of rain. That was around 4 o'clock, and as of 5, I still don't think he had taken off. And as long as Pena's in the dugout, they haven't made a move. So even if Hinske got here, they didn't want to shorthand themselves before the game. So he wouldn't be eligible. He might be in the locker room watching. That one's driven deep to center. Gutierrez back, track, and he makes the play as he hits into the wall for the final out of the 7th inning. So the Yankees put together some long drives, but none longer than this. Alex Rodriguez, a 2-2 fastball up and in, then far and out, a 2-run shot to the delight of his teammates and the scoreboard. overdrive of the game.
Well, we just saw it. Bottom of the 7th inning, 1 on, 1 out. Fastball up and in. Up and gone now. That's our Land Rover drive of the game. A-Rod's 12th home run of the year. Gives the Yankees the lead. Boy, he crushed that.
Land Rover got their money's worth today. That was a drive.
Yeah, he had to gas up again on that one.
Alex Rodriguez has been playing a splendid third base. The hitting starting to come around. He might have 50 RBIs before the All-Star break. Not bad for a guy who missed the first 28 games of the season. New pitcher for the Yankees, Brian Bruni. He'll deal to Gutierrez. And there's a strike. 5-3 Yankees lead. Boy, Gutierrez got his running in the last 2 outs of the 7th inning as well.
Made some nice plays out there.
And a strike. Mr. 500 getting ready. He threw out the first pitch. Will he throw the final pitch?
Should be loose already, right?
Yeah, but he only went 50 feet, right, as you said. Punched out, right field, a base hit off the bat of Gutierrez. His 3rd hit of the night.
Well, he's having a good night defensively, good night offensively.
Hey, fans, tonight and throughout the Yankees season on Yes, we're allowing you to vote along with the 3 of us here in the booth for the Chevy Player of the Game. All you have to do is text your vote to 58772, and tonight's candidates are, we'll tell you in a second who those candidates will be. And when you see them, you can vote now and make your voice heard. And standard text messaging rates will, in fact, apply. Pitch to Woodward is a strike. Check swing and fouled away.
I think of Woodward's days in Toronto where he was a backup infielder. He played second, third, short. I think he also played a little bit of outfield every once in a while. We would try him out there and just as an emergency sort of situation. We saw him maybe in spring training, a game or 2 in left field. Good guy to have on your ball club.
You've put him in a role that he's really not accustomed to, playing third base every single day. And if you're the Seattle Mariners organization, obviously, if you look at how you can bring offense to this team to help because of the lack of runs, you're going to have to fill somebody in there at third base. Beltre's not going to be back for a while, if at all, this year.
Yeah, they're thinking about moving Jose Lopez to third. They're thinking about moving Russell Brandon to third, but they wanted to leave Brandon at first because he's having such a good year. Just
Absolutely.
leave him there. So they think at this point Woodward is the best option to play third base. But Beltre is one of the best defensive third basemen in the league, and certainly he's got offensive abilities too.
Line drive and a base hit in front of Damon. So successive singles to open up the 8th inning against Bruni, and the count, well, the situation is 1st and 2nd and nobody out. Let's take a look at those candidates for the Chevy Player of the Game. You can text us at 58772. Number 1 is Alex Rodriguez. Number 2, Robinson Cano. Number 3, Jorge Posada. And number 4 is Ronnie Cedeno. Now, we told you that the Mariners specialize in sacrifice bunts. This would seem to be a spot to do it with Joba at the plate. That would move the tying run into scoring position. Joba's 2 for 3. But he's not bunting. Pitch is high.
Yeah, one of the reasons might be they're on the road. You might the bunt on the road to tie the game with the Yankees having the last at bat.
A tie game with that bullpen, though, in my mind, is a pretty good bet. And a lot of times, especially if guys are struggling at the plate, give them opportunities to do something good.
And he does something better. He rips one inside third for a base hit. Gutierrez will score. The throw comes into A-Rod. So it's a single by Joba, and now the Yankee lead is 5-4.
Well, now the situation a little different. And you might see a bunt here because you're moving the go-ahead run into scoring position. Here's Joba. He's got 3 hits tonight. He came in with a .229 batting average. He's got a double and 2 singles now as he rips one by A-Rod. And Bruni has come on and given up 3 straight singles.
Now, since Bruni's come out the DL, the one thing that you see, the command's not there. He's going to throw fastballs at 95, but it doesn't look like he's where he was before he got hurt. Went on the DL twice with an elbow problem, and you wonder if he's 100% at this point. He says he feels fine. They certainly give him the rest and the treatment, and he's had all the tests, and everything points to fine. But he doesn't look like the same pitcher, location-wise. There's Ronnie Cedeno. And he does bunt. Bruni will make the throw to Cano. Sacrifice successful, 1-4. And the runners move up.
It also gives the Yankees an opportunity to walk Ichiro here to load the bases.
And that's what they will do. You saw Joe Girardi waggle the 4 fingers. So they'll take their chances with Russell Branyan. So Ichiro, 2 for 4 tonight, will pick up the intentional walk. Alfredo Aceves is warming, and now warming alongside him is Mariano Rivera.
Kenny, we talked about it earlier in the game when it did happen. You brought Phil Koken, and he did a great job. Made some quality pitches, got out 2 left-handers. But having that lone left-hander right now, Russell Branyan is going to hit against a right-hander.
Here's a situation where the Yankees, I know he's been out for a long time, but you kind of miss Damaso Marte. He might have been the guy in the game earlier, and Koken been in there now, or vice versa. But you would have seen a left-hander with Branyan at the plate here.
And if there was 2 outs, I think you'd probably see Mariano. I think that you like you did in Met Stadium last weekend. I mean, he'll get 4 outs, but going to 5 or 6 outs, that's a different thing.
So here's Branyan, who's done a good job this season for Seattle. He's 1 for 3 tonight, and an RBI single in the 5th inning. And the Yankees are going to play a double play depth. Of course, they'll give up the tying run on a slow roller. It's 5-4 Yanks. And a strike.
Looking at Branyan's numbers, he's actually hit pretty well against left-handers this year, just around the 300 mark. And he's hit about the same against the right-handers. That's why he's probably having the best year of his career.
If you're a team on the road, this is about all you can ask for. Come back in a game, have your most productive hitter offensively up in a situation where he can win the game for you. Good matchup, right-handed pitcher.
Count 2-1. And that's what we're talking about with the command on Bruni. When he's right, he throws hard, he throws on the black. He throws strikes, but he's been falling behind a lot. And even when he's throwing strikes, it's not exactly where he wanted to put it. Could be rust. The 2-1. Rip foul.
Ball's hit hard, but it's nothing but a loud strike.
And you see, those are those times where you're given that fastball count. We talked about it earlier, where you think that you're going to get a good fastball to hit, and you just absolutely try to do too much with it. Now you put yourself in a position where you can strike out.
Foul back.
Got in on his hands with that one.
Good pitch, 94 miles an hour, right in on his hands. Which sets up that breaking ball in off the plate. Fastball away now. No tail, no nothing. Just stays true on that inside corner.
Now one pitch away from forcing in the tying run. Bases loaded. One out, top of the 8th inning. The pitch. High fly ball left field. This should tie the game. Tagging is Woodward. The catch is made by Damon. The throw is cut off by Jeter. It's a sac fly by Brennan, and the game is tied at 5.
You know, as a hitter, you go up there with bases loaded with intentions of breaking the game open, but all of a sudden you get in a 2-strike count. Your only job is to get that guy in from third and at least tie this game up. Brandon laid off a couple pitches out of the zone, got a pitch that he can handle, drove it deep enough to left field. Johnny Damon has no chance.
Pitch to Lopez is grounded to third. Alex Rodriguez goes the short way, and that'll do it. But the Yankees and Bruni blow the lead. Bruni gives up 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's 5-5. America's Self Shop by Nike. It's about you. And by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Well, the Yankees had a lot more to dance about before Brian Bruni gave up those 2 runs. And when the story of this game is written, and we'll see if the Yankees win or lose, there's going to be a lot of questions on why, after a 9-pitch, 1-2-3 7th inning, do you take Hughes out and go with Brian Bruni? And Bruni has not been pitching well. Hughes has been lights out. He's been almost automatic out of the pen. He needs to have innings to get up to an innings limit for the year. And Joe's going to be asked about that. And it's going to be a legitimate question when he is asked about it. Here's Shaun White. And he'll face the bottom third of the Yankee order. And the pitch is high. Matsui's dad at the ballpark today, making a long trip from Japan to visit his son. So far, he's seen Hideki 0 for 2 with a walk.
That is a long road trip.
That's a long trip. And he sees his son rip an extra base hit into the gap. Matsui runs first. He'll go to second. A leadout double here in the 8th. And there's the Matsui family. They see they're on TV, playing
right.
to the camera.
Little sinker kind of gets back out over the plate. Matsui, I don't know if you've seen him. He seems to be running a little bit better, too. Ball's hammered to right center field. What are they saying there,
They're saying, oh, drop.
Sure they are.
They got their Yankee gear on there ready.
You can order that stuff online.
At Yankees.com.
Yeah, you can.
Here's Swisher. And he bunts. It's a beauty. Green trips, everybody says. So Sean White lost his footing. And we'll see how they score it. It should be a sacrifice, but it was a great bunt. They could actually give him a hit if they're generous.
That should be a hit.
That was a perfect bunt. You knew right off the bat this ball is exactly where you want. You got to wonder why Woodward wasn't cheating in a little bit more. You see White almost lose his footing there. Sacrifice situation.
It is a base hit, and Gardner is pinch running for Matsui. So the Yankees can score even on a short fly ball with Gardner's speed at third base. Here's Melky Cabrera. He's driven in 2 runs with a sac fly and a ground ball. They have the infield back. They'll go for the double play. But they get a base hit instead. Matsui, his run scores in the person of Gardner. Swisher will go to third. It's an RBI double for Melky. His 3rd ribby of the night. And the Yankees lead 6-5.
Well, the bottom third of the order comes through big time for the Yankees here. Melky been swinging the bat pretty well all night long, and he gets one. Well, he can tee this one up right down Cabrera Avenue, and he drives it into right center field for a 2-base hit. Look at those eyes get big. The swing gets quick. The ball is lined towards the gap in right center field, and the Yankees come right back and take the lead.
Now they had to bring the infield in to cut off any more runs. So now Mariano Rivera is going to come in and pitch the 9th inning to try to nail this down unless the Yankees put a big number up. Jeter fouls it off.
Kenny, I'm actually hoping for a save situation just because you always want to see history.
Well, I mentioned the fact that with the first pitch of the game, threw out the
Ceremonial put and then get to close it too.
Yeah, you can throw out the last pitch.
Can it never happen again? Ryan, you can hit every button on your computer over there. You're not going to find somebody who's done that.
And the 0-1. Well, I mean, you'll have guys that threw complete games through the first and the last pitch, but this will be a little different.
We're talking the ceremonial pitch and closing the game. All right.
Well, this is disjointed, you know.
The 1-1.
Look out.
2-1.
You can see with White's delivering, you can see the 2-seam fastball that he's trying to locate, and he's been up with it. The left-handers are teeing off on it, and he's trying to get it to run in on Derek. Just haven't been able to control it.
Sean White actually started out with the Braves, and then the Pirates picked him in the Rule 5 draft. But shortly after they picked him, he was traded to Seattle for cash. And he's from Seattle, so you know he was doing handstands over that.
Line drive, base hit to center field. Swisher scores. Here comes Melky. He'll score. It's a 2-run single for the captain. And the Yankees now lead 8-5.
Good piece of hitting here. Two-seam fastball running in on his hands. Bring your hands way inside, kind of get jammed, but drive it up the middle. And you see what Derek does here? After he gets a hit, he's getting a read on Melky Cabrera and see if he's going to score real easy, if there's going to be a throw at the plate where he'll try to take second base. Good piece of hitting. You'll see right out there, you see now I'm going to read Melky Cabrera. Check and see if there's going to be a play. No play. I'll stay right here at first.
Now with a 6-game hitting streak.
So Rick Adair talking things over with White, and we want you to stick around after the last out for the W.B. Mason postgame. Bob Lorenz will be back in the studio to recap all the action from this first game against Seattle, and Kimberly Jones, of course, is in the clubhouse with the reaction from the team. It's the W.B. Mason postgame. It's right here on Yes.
There's that truck again.
I didn't realize they were real. I thought it was just on our monitor. Those trucks actually exist driving around in Westchester, New York.
After starting the night 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position, the Yankees are 4 for their last 4 in those situations.
Will they say better late than never?
Pitch outside.
At this point, it says a lot about the Yankee offense. You're facing, the #1 pitching staff in the American League, and you've thrown up 8 runs. Nobody out, still not finished. Matsui started this off with a rocket to right center field early in the inning. Always good when you have a cheering section here. Family come in to throw a big hit out of there, and it was fun to see their reaction. There they are. They've calmed down a little bit. Probably a little more into the game now that Hideki got that big hit. See, we're back on TV.
They are so different than Hideki, who shies away from attention. They're playing to the camera. So watch.
Wave at him, Michael.
Oh!
They're getting a little. They know Mariano's warming up.
Center field. Gutierrez drifts back in left center. Tagging is Jeter. Here's the throw. Here's the play. He's in there. Kept his foot on the bag. Good base running by Jeter.
Again, this is a play that's come about late. I mean, there's such good outfielders out there, and deep in left center field, you've got to know that left fielder's got to be over there screaming and he's tagging, because you assume as a center fielder that he's going halfway. Derek went back, tagged up, took a chance. Good time to take a chance up in the game.
Oh, hand-foot coordination.
Wow, the hand left the base and he just kicked out the right foot to get his toe there. Heads up. Or toes up. Teixeira takes pitch high.
So now we need all those super slow-mos to see exactly how this happens.
See, he slides over, then disconnects with the bag. And the toe's right there.
Is there any dirt in between that?
It could be. It all counts, electricity.
Before the ball game, I was around the Yankee batting cage, and there was a young coach around here that I hadn't seen before. And every once in a while, the Yankees bring up one of their minor league coaches or one of their minor league instructors. And tonight it was James Rousen, who's a roving hitting coordinator. And I'm sure he's happy now because the Yankees have broken out late in the ball game here. But I went to high school with his dad in Mount Vernon, New York. James Rousen Jr. was born in Mount Vernon, New York.
Ground ball, diving stop by Cedeno. And they took a base hit and an RBI away from Teixeira. Outstanding play by Cedeno.
Cedeno with a tremendous play. So James Rousen goes around.
Teixeira's had one of those nights where he's hit the ball hard a few times. It seems like there's 8 or 9 fielders out there all trying to catch it.
Great play.
Again, these plays look so easy on TV. We slow them down. That ball was hit right on the nose.
Here's Alex Rodriguez. Gave the Yankees a 5-3 lead with 1 swing. And again, they try to go up and in hard with him. And the count 1-0. Slowly the average creeping back up. He's at 234, 12 home runs, and 39 runs batted in.
I know James Rouse Jr. is pretty happy that the Yankees have started pouring it on. I kind of remember his dad, as I'm talking to him, I said, you kind of look like I know who he is.
Probably a kind of a disappointing day for him, too, because batting practice was actually, rained out, so you had to hit him in the cages underneath.
That one is driven to right field. Deep. Going back Ichiro. He's on the track, and he makes the play right in front of the wall for the final out of the 8th inning. But the Yankees retake the lead. 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. Will Mo throw the final pitch after throwing the first? Stay tuned. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance.
The bottom of the 8th inning, Melky Cabrera drives one to right center field. Drives in the go-ahead run. Gives Mariano a chance to come in here and see something that Kenny and I have said has never been done. A ceremonial pitch and a guy close the game in the same night.
Well, the Yankees, to honor Rivera, about 3 hours and 15 minutes ago, had Rivera come out to throw out the ceremonial first pitch. His catcher moved all the way up. He went off the mound, and of course he threw a strike. That's all he throws. So a nice honor for Rivera. His teammates were clapping. The entire crowd was on its feet, and he got a huge ovation. Now they want to see him throw some pitches for real and close this out. And Ken Griffey Jr. will start it off against Rivera. A little bit of a Hall of Fame matchup here. The greatest closer of all time against one of the greatest players of all time. Rivera, 18 saves. He picked up his 500th career save on Sunday against the Mets. Also picked up his first RBI, a bases-loaded walk in the 9th. Mariano, only the second pitcher to pick up 500 saves. Trevor Hoffman has 572. He's with the Brewers. Picked up one last night. And Mo with an even 500. That one is drilled down the right field line. And it's just foul. And here's how Mariano picked up that save. Jogging in Citi Field. And that is the final out. As Cora's out at first, a big hug by the captain who whispered in Mo's ear, "You're the greatest." And then all of his teammates gave him an embrace. And as Paul mentioned, he's about as good a teammate as you could have. There's no jealousy. Nobody envies what he does. Everybody appreciates his talent and his humility. There's a ground ball to first. And there's one away. The all-time saves list. Hoffman, 72 ahead of Rivera, although Rivera has, I believe, 36 saves in the postseason. And then Lee Smith, John Franco, and Dennis Eckersley. And Rivera has the most in the American League all time. Buck Showalter today, I was talking to him, and he gave the greatest line about, he said, Mariano Rivera, people say they can't compare him to the guys that, you know, got the 3-inning saves. He goes, and then you look at an Eckersley. He said, let me tell you what. He goes, if Mariano Rivera pitched with the same plate as Dennis Eckersley did, he said he'd never give up a run, ever. He said Dennis Eckersley would get strike calls a foot off the plate. He said Mariano's pitching in a Questek era. He said none of those other pitchers did. Raleigh Fingers, Bruce Sutter, Goose Gossage. Mariano has to throw strikes. I thought that was a pretty impressive point.
It is. It's a good point. And it's a funny thing because Joe Girardi told me one time, when you catch Mariano, you have to be really, really careful where you put the target, because he's going to hit it. And if you put the target out over the plate, he'll hit it. And if you put it 5 inches outside, he'll hit it. So you have to be very careful when you're pitching guys on the corner to set up where that target where you want the ball. And, you know, at this, you know, view, it doesn't look that hard, but you put yourself out on a mound and try to hit that glove every single time.
There's a ground ball to Jeter in the hole, the long throw, and the Yankees are 1 out away. Yankee GM Brian Cashman, who was the assistant GM under the Yankees in '95, told a story about how Jeter and Mariano are interconnected. Jeter was given the starting shortstop job in '96, and the Yankees told Yankee owner George Steinbrenner, don't watch the games on TV for the first 3 months. The kids are it's going to have growing pains, but he's going to be fine. But the Seattle Mariners, sensing that the Yankees might need a shortstop, offered Felix Fermin for Mariano Rivera or Bob Wickman. The Yankees turned it down, and the rest is history at 2 positions. Here's Franklin Gutierrez, and the pitch is upstairs 1-0.
Did they say how close they were to thinking about it? Or?
They thought about it, but they wanted to give Jeter the run, and they felt that if Fermin was here, then if he struggled at the beginning, then you'd have that inclination to take him out.
So did he hit a home run on opening day?
And he made a great play in Cleveland.
So there you go.
So there wasn't the growing pains, and George Steinbrenner was allowed to watch the first couple of months of the season. Red Sox were leading the Orioles 10-1. Now they're leading 11-10 in the 8th. That one has popped up off the bat of Gutierrez, and it's out to play. The Orioles are leading. So that would be an unbelievable loss for the Red Sox.
So that was after a rain delay, so the Red Sox bullpen didn't get the job done.
Bottom of the 8th, 2 outs. Right now it's the top of the 9th, 2 outs for the Yankees. They lead 8-5. And the pitch. Swung on and missed. Save number 501. And the Yankees win 8-5. Mo throws out the ceremonial first pitch and the serious last pitch as the Yankees get this one 8-5. And he's working on his second 500. So for the Yankees, Joba started, Koch, Hughes, Bruni, and then Rivera. And this is the final out.
I tried to get on the bite on one upstairs, and yep. Every once in a while, Mariano will just try and let a hitter strike himself out. And that's exactly what Gutierrez did. Left the strike zone, tried to check please. Game over.
So Rivera now at 501. The Yankees, a high water mark for them. They are 12 games over 500. And they win this one 8-5. They were up by a score of 3-1. They were up 5-3, and they win 8-5, 500 and counting indeed. So Mariano Rivera gets the save, and the Yankees get the win. And Kimberly Jones gets Mariano Rivera. Kim?
Save number 501, Mariano. What's it like?